present, living struggle like the fight is to the finish. It might just be a losing, so my side is who's losing and just using losing vibes with these ones about experimentalism. Laying it out, corrupting up, and most of all delirious. The feeling low, weary, weary, disappearing. Is the king that live with luxury, but soldiers make appearances. The kids that live with people shedding shit before the fingers flipping, vision living filthy for the victim to the city, gripping, pushing about the victim. And I'm screaming, no one's listening, so listen, kids are blessings, intervention, stolen minutes. Seems like it's just a figment, seeing bitches get so winners in my business. That's the pieces of the chickens, so diminished. Shit, can't win this shit, I'm stretching, fit no seconds, that's irrelevant. Don't ask for better rappers, cause my flesh from metal, skeletons, no flesh. Steady, set my heads against your melons, put me militants, repel the enemies instead of rebellion.
God don't care, this is how it is. So you can pray, God ain't listening. God don't care, this is how it is. So you can pray, God ain't listening.
Marcus.
Having pipe dreams, it's been 4 days now, she still can't sleep, she hands are drooping still, so she paces around the room, she's praying that it gets soon, tears in her eyes when she stands in an empty spoon, she's got a baby in the womb, he's on survival, so she left the needle to solve the problems, yeah, so baby, you're grown up, is she all grown up, she hate the world, I told her life ain't fair, God don't care, this is how it is. It's all where we living, no exceptions. The church stuck up the room, but God ain't listening. Hooker, if you hungry, take your ass to the soup kitchen. I ain't cuffing you nothing. We out. God don't care. This is how it is. Say you can pray, God ain't listening. God don't care. This is how it is. You can pray, God ain't listening.
These lost our minds, trying to find a song.
Trying to make a buck for myself in the hood. If I could sell a piece to a priest, then I would. Cause I'm about my paper, dog, it's all good. When I roll up my dough up, cocky like Rocky Balboa. Product that the devil gon' show up. Stacking higher than the Twin Towers. Blow up on the scene like the fucking 2 towers. All I want in life is a fucking money shower. So what I got for months is a big cold power. My eyes low faded, stock got raided. Why never get got when a pig made it? Laughing at these suckers, it's all smooth sailing. Patron in my cup, in the cup, real motherfucking toasted. Puffing up the blunt till we toasted. If a motherfucking head, then we rolling. So much money, so much richness. All my life I've been thug living. Got the first to pick, and then it's on. Tell my baby mama I ain't never coming home. So much money, so much bitches. All my life I've been straight living. Got the first to pick, and then it's on. Throw them in the piece, I ain't never coming home. Boys in the hood, got toys in the hood. House party pumps make noise in the hood. When I think back down the side, bring that fuck a bitch with a fat ass. I'm the master, sitting in the cell, proud like an Astor. Living in the hell, but my seed not a bastard. Homie, keep it gangster, lane up the faster. Product of the devil, bass beat a crack in the coke, beat a treble. Personifying everything, and I don't give a fuck if you don't understand, I'm on another level. You can't tell me nothing, but try and tell me something. Why the fuck you hating when I'm rolling by something? Probably cause I'm doing big things and you frontin'. Cheers to my haters, cheers to my dogs. Life of a gangster, praying till I fall. Trying to stay on top till a motherfucker fall. So much money, so much riches. All my life I've been living, got to burn to brick, and then it's all. Tell my baby mama I ain't never coming home. So much money, so much bitches. All my life I've been straight living, got to burn to brick, and then it's all. Till I'm in the beast, I ain't never coming home. Stove for a heater, now I pack a heater. Money coming quicker than a motherfucking cheetah. Fresh to death, sipping the plug, sitting with a couple sexy senoritas. I'm a soldier, till my deceased on the boulder. Living and giving a fuck the weight of the world on my shoulder. Haven't ever had a harder clip, yeah, I got this shit. Got bitches on my job, I'm the cap on the shit. And this is how it is, it's how we do in the city. When he walks about with sheep, I don't feel no pity. Gotta be the fucking kitty, ever since I was a nitty bitty kitty. Trying to make a fucking buck, go a time by a flizzy. Grind for the grizzly, be busy. So got my monkey, I'm dizzy. Baby, so I'm gon' get ladies to city. Packing my heater in case I get so much money, so much riches. All my life I've been living, got to burn to brick, and then it's all. Tell my baby mama I ain't never coming home. So much money, so much bitches. All my life I've been straight living, got to burn to brick.
I don't know what's wrong with this, but it don't work no more. It's a serious issue because I'm right-handed. And I'm smoking the roaches first just to get rid of them. But that's Coal Creek Kush and Warlock. Turn this back up. Oh. By the way, these are killing it.
Look closely, you can see the truth in my eyes. Back in junior high, already had gang ties. Folks gloom in the back lanes, pockets full of something to hide. The city played concealed, first the kiss but died. Now it's all through my mama, I ain't scared to die. Black flag on my face, throwing up gang signs. Can't forget these cops come on blast. They wonder why my auntie said my cousin never had a chance. I just think over the scars, stick my arms to the bars and reach for God. I roll my weaver pages up right from the Bible. I'm a sinner, all I know is survival. Keep 6, watch the 5-0. Jack me nigga, Jack me quick. Jack ready, give me all shit. Before I light them up like a candlestick. Cause killers on my team, and even 18. Day and night, pulling chickens serving beans. Like, don't give a fuck. One time when I lock me up. Go hard till I'm dead and go. Go hard till I'm dead and go. Live like I don't give a fuck. One time when I lock me up. Go hard till I'm dead and go. Go hard till I'm dead and go. I've been living life like this since a little kid. Could've made a movie of all the shit I did. Count so much money,
I'm not repeating.
black shit so good, I made an extra weight back. Puffing on the weed, sipping on the Alizé, sleeping in the limousine. Yeah, it's just another day. Mama, don't pray for me, cause I'ma be okay. I live to die by the plate. I'ma feel alive when I'm staring dead in the face. I'm holding the low at 9, alone in the dark. Just me and my thoughts, contemplating homicide. Trust when the sun goes down, we ride. Respect to my dog, looking on the front line. No choice, either his life or mine. And I ain't dying today. I'd rather pull the trigger back and watch the soul fly away. Watch the soul fly away, bye-bye. Live like I don't give a fuck. One time when I lock me up. Go hard till I'm dead and go. Go hard till I'm dead and go. Live like I don't give a fuck. One time when I lock me up. Go hard till I'm dead and go. Go hard till I'm dead and go.
You need a joint in order to keep your hands steady enough to open up the fucking weed. You gotta find a 4-year-old to open this package up because this is fucking ridiculous. I don't think we own that. Yeah, this works.
Yeah. Gang life
nice record.
By the way, this part's only written in English.
I'm on his back. Yeah. I'm good driving my motivation, no tolerance, running short of patience. Skip gold, do not collect money. That's the shit that got me dreaming robberies when pops left it with the block that fathered me. Got a problem, load the weapon, that's how you solve it, that's what it taught to me. And it's hard, I'm faced on the bottom me. Put me in the direction where the bottom be. Guess that's just how it's born to be. Some come to this world with diamonds and pearls, some come to poverty. But knowing that teachers right and wrong, how could you say that we're wrong? This is all we know, so gotta be right. Or maybe it's left, but it's all we got left. And I'm love it till my last breath. Truly, peace and love to the ones that knew me and fuck the rest. I mean it, and she know. But if I go this door, it might be for the last time. They say the stars burn the brightest right before they die. That's why I tell her I love her just because today's my day to shine. Father, forgive me for I sin, and I swear I promise sin again.
By the way, the whole bottom is empty. There's nothing in there.
When my night go, I literally in the room. My thugs, pump drugs, dump slugs, graves dug. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it. All my thugs, pump drugs, dump slugs, graves dug. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to die for it. If you want it, better be ready to die for it. Early morning hustler shit. Cocaine in the pot, stir it till it's thick. Throw some ice in the mix and shock it. That's how you rock that shit. Now here comes the magic trick. Abracadabra, bitch. The song disappears quick as your baby mama's welfare check. This the life, yeah. Fuck you, pay me. I brought the bitch with me just to show you where I plan. All the goons in this motherfucker know what I'm saying. Bet the streets gon' feel me. Know these cops that wanna kill me or confine me. But first you gotta find me, so come find me. You bitch ass, punk ass cops. Y'all can kiss on my cock. This is something that you'll never stop. Every bump of these tracks, even after I'm locked, even after my heart stops. I'm here to teach the next generation to say fuck the cops. Same way I was taught, yeah, same way I was taught. Yeah, fuck the cops, fuck the cops. All my thugs, pump drugs, dump slugs, graves dug. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it. If you want it, better be ready to kill for it. All my thugs, pump drugs, dump slugs, graves dug. Nah, you ain't one of us. If you want it, better be ready to die for it. If you want it, better be ready to die for it.
I'm not allowed to possess sharp implements at the moment, and these are the times that I wish that wasn't the case. I wish I could watch somebody else do this and laugh at this. I can't laugh at this shit.
Gang Life Records, you know what it is? We ain't going nowhere. We here to stay, motherfucker. We all in the bag.
Reckless, set this shit in motion. Drinking on the potion till I get to stumbling. Start losing focus. World better watch out when I cause a commotion. Bullet shed in the chest, cause an explosion. That cold road by slowing it like time frozen. Hits me in the air, the window slowly rolling. Don't begin to smoke when it's loaded. The only evidence left. It's time marks on the block. Whole neighborhood watch, still nobody call it out. Reminiscence of my death, but it really come true. The old world stay dry like they immune to the truth. I'm just trying to let them see from my words and it's truth. Dear God, it's the words that you gave to me. The whole world stay dry like this is slavery. I pray to the phone, God, you simply saving me. And if I ask for one thing, it's take this pain from me. This gang life is forever. God dang, on my sleeve and trust when I sleep. I dream of cars, clothes, and shiny things. Motherfucker, I'm on everything. Everything like right here.
Now trust when he sleeps, he dreams. Cars, clothes, and them shiny things. Now trust when he sleeps, he dreams. Cars, clothes, and them shiny things. Now trust when he sleeps, he dreams. Cars, clothes, and them shiny things. Now trust when he sleeps, he dreams. Cars, clothes, and them shiny things. Every word that's gonna be blasphemy. When you get the hell, boy, you better ask about me. I'm a slave like the rest of them, blind like the rest of them. Give a few questions, why don't he answer them? Please just a
Ici Nicolas Haddad. Tous les matins,
I know there's going to be nothing useful.
politique, sociale et culturelle de la ville reine et du sud de l'Ontario. Il n'y a pas de matin pareil. En semaine, dès 6 heures. Ici Radio-Canada Première.
Ici. Aqui.
Vous écoutez ici Radio-Canada Première. Au 860 AM à Toronto.
Where's the light? Oh, it's on midnight.
Bonsoir à tous, ici Mathieu Massé, voici les informations. Nouvelle de dernière minute d'abord, Radio-Canada a appris que la présidente par intérim du conseil d'administration de Hockey Canada, Andrea Skinner, a remis sa démission. Dans un courriel dont Radio-Canada Sport a obtenu copie,
See, I know it'd be
il
useless. Use this
est
information.
raisonnable de continuer à donner son temps bénévolement à titre de présidente intérimaire ou
It's
d'administratrice
4 minutes
pour
for nothing. It might be.
Hockey Canada a transmis l'information à ses fédérations provinciales. Plus de détails suivants. Et maintenant, la Ville de Québec a organisé une fête pour célébrer ses nouveaux citoyens. Une occasion de souhaiter la bienvenue aux immigrants. Reportage de Raphaël Beaumont-Drouin. C'est une première journée à la cabane à sucre pour Anne-Marie Loss et sa famille.
Bon anniversaire!
Française. Ils sont arrivés au Québec cette année.
On va trouver un logement et pas tous les deux on travaille.
We do some of it.
On
Really,
partit,
this is
dans des écoles
ridiculous.
secondaires et primaires pas loin du logement, donc c'est l'idéal pour nous.
Les Loss font partie des quelques centaines de nouveaux arrivants venus à cette journée d'accueil organisée à l'Anneau de glace de Québec. Plusieurs, comme Oksana Novikova, ont fui la guerre en Ukraine.
Québécois est
This is the Cold Creek Kush. Again, that should be bright. It should be like brightness here.
Cet événement survient alors que le gouvernement Legault réclame plus de pouvoir auprès d'Ottawa en matière d'immigration. Mais le ministre fédéral, Jean-Yves Duclos, ferme la porte.
On a tous les leviers au Québec pour avoir plus d'immigrants francophones si on le souhaite. Je pense que la plupart des gens le souhaitent.
Pénurie de logement, inflation, retard dans le traitement des demandes, les défis en immigration sont nombreux.
L'immigration, c'est pas
RP
une question
53
économique.
Le maire
millimeter.
de Québec, Bruno Marchand.
La personne qu'on accueille ici, c'est un humain.
This won't fit in a 2-inch pipe.
C'est un humain qui vient aspirer à des rêves, qui vient aspirer à créer une nouvelle vie, se protéger d'un endroit où il était, où c'était insécure, trouver un endroit où il peut s'émanciper.
They sort of
Donc, qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire comme
sort
ville?
of.
Évidemment, ça se pose de mieux intégrer, mais ça se pose de trouver des activités comme ça.
Ici, Raphaël Beaumont-Drouin, Radio-Canada, Québec. La coalition Avenir Québec met en garde la population au sujet d'un message texte frauduleux qui circule concernant sa promesse de verser aux contribuables un montant ponctuel contre l'inflation. Les citoyens ont reçu ces derniers jours un texto les invitant à cliquer sur un lien pour réclamer la somme de 500 $ dans le cadre du bouclier anti-inflammation de la CAQ. Or, il s'agirait d'une fraude. En campagne électorale, le parti a promis la somme de 600 $ pour les contribuables ayant un revenu annuel de moins de 50 000 $ et de 400 $ pour ceux gagnant de 50 000 à 100 000 $ par année.
No, but what did you do?
La circulation a repris pour les voitures et les bus sur la seule voie routière restée intacte sur le pont de Crimée en Ukraine. Ce pont qu'a fait construire Vladimir Poutine pour relier la région annexée unilatéralement à la Russie a été lourdement endommagé par une explosion. L'attaque, qui n'a toujours pas été revendiquée, a fait au moins 3 morts et va laisser des traces. En Russie, c'est un affront de plus, tandis qu'en Ukraine, le cœur est à la fête. Alexis Gacon.
Le pont de Crimée, c'est le symbole de l'annexion russe. Alors chez les soldats ukrainiens, à Mykolaïv, on célèbre l'explosion qui a détruit une partie de sa structure. Volodymyr, 44 ans, dit qu'il s'attendait à une telle attaque. Pour lui, toute destruction n'est pas bonne, mais l'incendie du pont restreint l'approvisionnement des Russes en armes et permet de frapper davantage et d'avancer. Moscou attribue l'explosion à un camion piégé. Les responsables russes parlent d'actes terroristes de l'Ukraine, tandis que les dirigeants ukrainiens soutiennent que c'est une attaque russe due à une lutte interne à Moscou. L'attaque du pont, c'est un nouveau coup dur pour Moscou, en difficulté sur le front sud notamment. Dans la région de Kherson, les forces russes ont quitté plusieurs villages et la vie reprend peu à peu, comme à Krestchenivka, où Galina habite. Elle explique que les soldats russes ont fui la ville en bicyclette avec leurs affaires et qu'une demi-heure plus tard, ils ont été abattus par un hélicoptère. Signe que les derniers revers de la Russie déplaisent au Kremlin, Moscou a annoncé avoir un nouvel homme fort pour diriger les opérations de guerre en Ukraine, le général Sergueï Sourovikine, vétéran de la guerre au Tadjikistan et de la deuxième en Tchétchénie. Ici Alexis Gacon, Radio-Canada, Montréal.
En terminant, le gouvernement haïtien attend les réponses de la communauté internationale après avoir officiellement demandé une aide extérieure pour résoudre la crise sécuritaire qui paralyse le pays. Haïti est le théâtre depuis plusieurs mois d'une lutte entre gangs criminels armés. La situation s'est récemment envenimée à la suite de l'annonce d'une hausse du prix de l'essence qui a causé des émeutes. L'inspecteur à la retraite du SPVM, André Durocher, a participé à plusieurs missions en Haïti avec la GRC et l'ONU entre 2006 et 2010. Il croit qu'une aide extérieure pourrait permettre de calmer le jeu en attendant des solutions à long terme.
Le fait d'avoir des militaires ou des policiers également de différents pays internationaux, ça sécurise et ça stabilise en attendant, parce que les refontes, ça doit être beaucoup plus profondes que ça. Je veux dire, la corruption est endémique là-bas. Donc, à partir du moment où on doit travailler sur donner un État, en fait, avoir des infrastructures, avoir un gouvernement qui est pas corrompu, ça prend énormément de temps.
How's that happen? The cops aren't down with it. Really, honestly.
Depuis des années avec environ 10 000 agents pour tout le pays. Voilà, c'est ainsi que se termine le Radio-Journal. Pour plus de détails ou d'autres nouvelles, rendez-vous à radiocanada.ca. Ici Mathieu Massé, bonne soirée à notre antenne.
Bonne soirée à notre antenne. No, it's going to be 25 minutes, not 30. Whatever. On the 30, right, okay. No. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on. Damn. I swear I know this tune.
Post-réconciliation, un vent de changement s'opère. Pour la première fois dans l'histoire du Québec, une femme autochtone sera à l'Assemblée nationale. On va féliciter Catherine Champagne-Jourdain, qui est élue comme représentante de la CAQ dans ici. Elle fera son travail pour les prochaines années. Côté notre boussole électorale penche, eh bien, c'est quand même une réussite. Elle a fait éclater le plafond de verre. Et ça permettra quand même à la jeunesse autochtone de voir que nos possibilités à nous sont infinies. La dernière fois, c'était en 2007, et c'était avec Alexis Wawanalat qui avait été élu comme représentant du Parti québécois, mais en tant que membre de la nation Abénaquise. Ça va juste pris 15 ans, hein? Mais en espérant que justement la représentation autochtone soit permanente. Mais en attendant, ce qui est permanent cependant, c'est que le vent de réconciliation, mais surtout de décolonisation, ne va pas s'arrêter. Il y a des opportunités qui s'ouvrent.
You realize what that would mean is sending back all the colonized. I don't like that use of that word.
La première représentante de la nation Wailaki qui est partie dans l'espace présentement avec SpaceX. On pense aussi à Kent McMahon de la nation Cree qui, lui, est présentement au Royal Ontario Museum avec son exposition. Quand on y pense, la chance de montrer l'excellence autochtone, elle n'est pas à la veille de s'éteindre. Alors, à l'émission aujourd'hui, le documentaire Que le fan soit avec toi avec Marc Joly-Corcoran, la pièce L'enclos Bois-Bouche avec Dave Ginnis et Charles Bender, et Optimum, l'expérience immersive d'Émilie Monet. Moi, oui, venez-vous-en, c'est parti.
Okay, we got everything we're going to get out of that. I think. Oh. This is not good. It didn't hurt before, now it's starting to hurt. That's a problem.
I miss my dog, forever in my heart. When we meet again, I'm going hard.
Start doing everything left-handed.
Black coat on the beat. You know what it is? Yeah, I came from a broken home. Since a young age, I've been on my own. Bag of rocks on my cell phone. This the world I live in. See myself sinning. Doomed from the start. Yeah, fuck from the beginning. I got caught today and I'm already late. Probably ain't gonna make it. Give me me a chance and I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I'm out in a pirate. I put my hopes and dreams inside pirates and turn the stove on. A life like this is hard to carry on. My family don't get what they need until the work on. I know where to find the devil. That ain't hard. For some reason I still ain't found God. Lost soul walking with the dance. Pull the trigger, hope that it don't jam. Rather get caught with it than without it where I am. This life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah, cause I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Gang life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah, cause I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. This life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah, cause I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Gang life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah, cause I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. I'm a shooting star, running in the sky. Sink all the text, still waiting for a reply. I daydream a lot, dreaming of a day I won't have to scheme and plot. Not ready for the grave yet, not ready for that box. Yeah, life in the slum, it ain't much, but it's where we wrong. Gotta love it, steady dog to see the cops. Me mugging middle finger up like fuck 'em. Another day in the life, the weed and nigga help to make it alright. Just send homie a kite, yeah, I miss my dog. Forever in my heart, when we meet again, I'm going hard. On the block, ducking and dodging the wrath of God. I'm just trying to feed myself in these troubled times. Still chill off, this is the day I got me down. Nah, cause I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Gang life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah, cause I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah, cause I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah. Gang life got me dreaming about a better way. Nah, cause I'm a realist, I know nothing gon' change. Yeah.
All I hear is the same thing. Block to block, they talking that gang slang. All I see is the same thing. Guns go off, shoot 'em up, bang bang. All I hear is the same thing. Block to block, they talking that gang slang. I'm in city, so they know that I'm in the strap. All day, every day, I'm dressed in black. North side, west side, infested with crack. I don't do it, I just do it. I'm pushing the bag. Johnny Cage in this bitch, I be sweating.
Dreams, I got big dreams. I want the nice car, I want the nice things. I want the sick teddies, I want the cold rings. I want the throne as I sit down, call me king. Big dreams, I got big dreams. I want the nice car, I want the nice things. I want the sick teddies, I want the gold rings. I want the throne as I sit down, call me king. I got big dreams, I couldn't be a failure. I wouldn't be a broke bitch, I'm a world invader. So I'ma fuck the world, come with the game, body is tailored. I fuck a burn it back of the motherfucker for moolah. Stuck up in a shaker, my work is to be the ruler. I did dirt, I got work, I got balls, you knew that. How the fuck you think the village chillin'? People giving birdies wings while my skrilla building. Yeah, I do trap, I do grind, I do this to get mine. I can't stop, I won't stop, the epitome, military mind. I know this game by heart, I'm up to the pain. Focus, my fucking brain got hard, kind of insane. No tears unless it rains. Never fucking can change. Only thing I'll change, the numbers to my name. I'm trying to make a buck, my fucking lady luck. She got a curse, so she let me live when I was buck. Big dreams, I got big dreams. I want the nice car, I want the nice things. I want the sick daddies, I want the gold rings. I want the throne and to sit down, call me king. Big dreams, I got big dreams. I want the nice car, I want the nice things. I want the sick daddies, I want the gold rings. I want the throne and to sit down, call me king. Better duck when I'm busted. Shots fired, don't get me started over nothing. Funeral pie, send you a sweet something. Rockabye bye, see you on the other side. You just last night homicide. Freak boys better watch themselves around me, cause I said it's over under a key. You ain't been where I've been, you ain't seen what I see. I chase ghosts with this bottle of Jack. The devil in the breadbook, guess I follow him back. Dear God, why don't you ask me back? Yeah, my guardian angel, where he at? My soul under attack, no one give a fuck about that. Yeah, think I'm evil, mama might have gave birth to a demon. We seeing is believing, and all I seeing is what you feeling. Big dreams, I got big dreams. I want the nice car, I want the nice things. I want the sick daddies, I want the gold rings. I want the throne and to sit down, call me king. Big dreams, I got big dreams. I want the nice car, I want the nice things. I want the sick daddies, I want the gold rings. I want the throne and to sit down, call me king. Mama told me I can be a doctor. Kind of ironic cause I'm a fucking coke doctor. I learned this, I do this for paper. My papa said proper, telling me he bought another dollar. I tell him take.
Oh, that sounded lively for a second. What the fuck? Well, now I'm torn. No, see if it's gonna come on. You're messing with my voice. It's like halfway there. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You're fucking with it. It's right there in front of you.
Big dreams, I got big dreams. I want the nice car, I want the nice things. I want the sick daddies, I want the gold rings. I want the throne and to sit down, call me king.
You died. Trying to do your best. Time to hold my breath.
Wait a second. Easier way to do this, huh? D's on go with T's.
Tell my bitch relax, I'll be back. Where the weed at? You know I need that. It's your love, we do is spit sweet facts. Beat with your weak raps. That help us smoke so much. Even up so clean the dick. Won't be long till she relapse. All day long I walk around with a token on my back. Like kill me if you can. I'm in the shadow ducking and dodging the pad. You crack that bottle, now we go again. Buy the ticket, take the ride. All my homies down the ride. Black flags held high. Till the day we die with some monsters on the ride. Apocalypse now, open up and shut them down. You just a fucking clown. For you all when the niggas spare around. Pull the box, cut us out, and show you what I'm about. Stick it in your neck and watch the blood pour out. Watch the blood pour out. I pray, but God don't answer me. I said I pray, but the devil's all I see. I said I pray, but God don't answer me. I said I pray, but the devil's all I see. I said I live for living
been fucked since I was 10, bitch. Just asking questions about my life, I made you suck dick. Duck quick, bubbles in corners fast like runnings. Back lanes, fast across the lawn some early mornings. Gotta make the money dirty, cause my hands are never clean. And my brother told me, you serve a fiend at 13. Got that gang life mentality, it's a GLR thing. If you fucking with the kid, you never wake from the streets. See, I pray to the sky, hoping God would answer me. Instead of them were a pile of open arms, embrace and capture me. Set me down the path of coming back. Someone set me free, somewhere along the way, some price to pay. Then I'll take the fee, staying loyal to the streets. And my brothers locked down, holla make you bad now, bitch. Hit the ground like a robbery, no sound, no witnesses to be found. Like a murder scene, nobody round, no witnesses to be found.
I pray, but God don't answer me. I said I pray, but the devil's all I see. I said I pray, but God don't answer me. I said I pray, but the devil's all I see. I said I pray.
Yeah. Gang life wreck is the kid. Yeah. Feeling fine. Know what it is. Yeah, goddamn, you killing them, man. You killing them, man. Then you drop.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling fine. Ain't nothing stop my shine. Just lost the door today, but I'm feeling fine. Yeah, I'm feeling fine. Oh yeah, I'm feeling fine. Ain't nothing stop my shine. Just lost the door today, but I'm feeling fine. Yeah, I'm feeling fine.
Woke up this morning like damn, I just lost 100 grand. It's hard to fathom, it's hard to understand. I came from the block with holes in my socks, first day and night. Nah, I never met the chop, worked hard for everything I ever got. Still struggle never stops. These cops, they want me in a box. Stop, miss my heart ache, cause I got 4 kids that miss me when I go away. Shit, life's a trip, kiss my babies goodbye. Yeah, this is it. I probably ask God for forgiveness, but I know God don't exist. I'd rather rip pages from this Bible, roll the weed up, slit my wrist, and drink my blood from a teacup. I just wanna come out by me, no worries, cause the crack house always high. With you damn right, I got the right to remain violent.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling fine. Ain't nothing stop my shine. Just lost the door today, but I'm feeling fine. Yeah, I'm feeling fine. Oh yeah, I'm feeling fine. Ain't nothing stop my shine. Just lost the door today, but I'm feeling fine. Yeah, I'm feeling fine. Oh yeah, I'm feeling fine. Ain't nothing stop my shine. Just lost the door today, but I'm feeling fine. Yeah, I'm feeling fine. Oh yeah, I'm feeling fine. Ain't nothing stop my shine. Just lost the door today, but I'm feeling fine. Yeah, I'm feeling fine.
That's because they thanks live in the fast lane, I live with no brakes. Eyes on the prize, it's a man's game. Around here, you killing.
In downtown at Toronto this evening, it's partly cloudy, 11, feels like 9 over at Toronto Pearson. Similar conditions.
Wind chill and humidex on the same fucking day.
Out of the Rogers Center, where the Jays are officially out of the playoff series.
No. You're the weather person right now.
10-9. City News Time 8:23.
Damn it. Damn it.
Lotto 649.
They got it in there. Oh, Jesus, slow the fuck down.
Number 911 for breaking news, traffic, and weather.
This is City News 680. Everywhere.
City News time 8:24. Downsview Park is home to Pumpkin Fest this long weekend and almost every weekend this month.
Yesterday only came up with a whole brick. Want me to flip up the whole shit. I'm thinking new kicks, that's the baby ain't shit. 666, that's my destiny. He will keep me company. In the trenches going on the sesame. Now nothing stressing me. You can't bring it down. I'm sitting on the cloud, staring at the stars. Happiness you never thought we make it this far. Folks are all raising the bar. Step the fuck up, we can step the fuck on.
I become a shadow and I become heartless. I walk away with tears. I walk away with sympathy. I conquered all my fears. I started all my enemy. The boom launched out. All the things that woke me up. Feeling like I wasn't smart enough to dump you up. And now I'm floating with that. Like the sick zone. Impossible to know who's with a lit smoke. Still be breathing even when I'm still broke. Still be breathing even when the slick throw. I'll be still riding on the full moon. I'll be still rhyming when the most cold. Still be smoking weed when the cancer hurts. Still a broken seat, pushing casual dirt. Still I got the goons having big words. I began to pan the room cause the drama at the church.
Prices have come down, but housing affordability isn't getting any better. In fact,
really?
It's the most unaffordable market yet. It's going to be next year at the earliest to see the affordability factor likely improve, according to Randall Bartlett, Senior Director, Canadian Economics at Desjardins.
Yeah, we've got these two different drivers of affordability, and together they've continued to see it erode as a result of the fact that Canadians are paying more to service their mortgages. And so we think that the point where that starts to turn around is going to be in the first half of 2023, where home prices in Canada continue to slide lower. Also, borrowing costs flatten out as the Bank of Canada's policy rate hits its peak, and financial markets begin to anticipate that we will see more rate cuts going forward. That'll start to bring down longer-term yields, and hopefully that'll help to start to bring down borrowing costs for homeowners as well.
Bartlett says cities that saw big price gains since 2020 will need to really cool off.
What we saw during the pandemic in terms of the erosion of affordability in a lot of communities, even outside of major centers, outside of the Greater Toronto area, Greater Vancouver area, Greater Montreal area. And so, as Canadians were looking to stretch their legs and get a little more space during the pandemic, ultimately we think we're going to start to see prices begin and activity begin to normalize back to levels that we saw pre-pandemic.
But with slowing supply, few new listings, this market remains very tight.
Immigration targets in the federal government is over 1.3 million international migrants coming in the next few years. So that's a lot of new residents coming to Canada. Ultimately, we need to build more housing. What we need is all levels of government to get behind initiatives which are going to increase density and ultimately ensure that everybody is able to have a home that they can reasonably afford.
That's Randall Bartlett, Senior Director, Canadian Economics at Desjardins. And at the City News Business Center, I'm Mike Up.
Hi, I'm John Tory, and I'm asking for your vote for mayor. As we emerge from the global pandemic, we all want a city that offers opportunities for everyone. I've spent the last 8 years working with City Council, the provincial, and federal governments. Together, we've come through the pandemic. Together, we're building the largest
We're on the other side of it? What the
Canadian
fuck?
history. And together, we're building more and more affordable housing as fast as possible. Now is not the time for inexperience. We've got work to finish.
On October 24th, re-elect John Tory. Not to get too personal, but when it comes to financial services and insurance, cooperators just...
You're talking about condos as small as this fucking place that where they don't count the monthly fees in your affordability. And they go by like weird statistics they got of how much money you could make in theory. Motherfucker.
Just the weapon found the order in between the seats. Remember to took the cash and now they even charge me. Uncle's only trying to leave and you shout dead in the street. My city got running in my memories, stories and no one will tell. I sing the song, a man that knows nothing but jail, nothing but that hotel, nothing but living in hell. Terrorize what I was supposed to help. If it's a problem, we don't cope, we can handle it ourselves. I wasn't born a free man, I had to free myself. So if you feel how I feel, say fuck the law. Yeah, fuck the law. Yeah, fuck the law. Yeah, fuck the law. Yeah, fuck the law. Ain't enough that you take me to for. When it's locked in the box and it's there for. You can take what you want, leave it all more. Say fuck the law. Yeah, fuck the law. Ain't enough that you take what you want for. When it's locked in the box and it's there for. You can take what you want, leave it all more. Say fuck the law. Yeah, fuck the law. Ain't enough that you take me to for. When it's locked in the box and it's there for. You can take what you want, leave it all more. Say fuck the law. Yeah, fuck the law.
Il a de la difficulté à confronter vraiment sa vie d'adulte. Je l'imagine vraiment comme un adulte, mais avec une conscience vraiment d'ado. Puis c'est ça. Il est un petit peu peureux. C'est pour ça que quand il rencontre Noé.
You watch time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Hello, Mike Davey.
Hey, Camilla, this report is brought to you by the Big Apple. Eastbound 401 still have a collision at Mississauga Road, and the collectors are blocking a left lane. Looks like it's still causing a delay from east of Winston Churchill. And then as you continue east, you can delay out the 400 alternating express and collectors to east of the Allen, and westbound 401 slow go Mavis Express and collectors to approaching Mississauga Road. Southbound 404 DVP delay from the 401 to south of Lawrence, although that's starting to improve. Eastbound Gardner, a slow go east of the Humber Bridge to Jameson. With the Big Apple is so much more than a great rest stop with fun-free activities like mini putt, the children's carousel, petting zoo, and more. The Big Apple, exit 497 off the 401 or thebigapple.ca. Your next report in less than 10 minutes. Now with the weather, here's Carl Lamb.
Definitely on the cooler side tonight. 5 is the overnight low with a partly cloudy sky, but cooler up north as well. And then we head into the day tomorrow, sun and cloud. Temperatures getting up to about 15 degrees.
We thought it was warmer
up north, but then as we head into the afternoon, it's going to
about the lake effect snow.
A few showers possible, and definitely some steadier rain possible out towards the east end as well, and our high on Sunday is 15. Tonight's overnight low is 5 degrees.
In downtown Toronto, it's partly cloudy, 11 feels like 9. Over at Toronto Pearson, similar conditions. City News time, 8:32.
You ready for 8 minutes of fucking really just
City News
wait for it.
in-depth team coverage.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The anxiety was high.
Who owns this station, by the way?
Battled the Seattle Mariners. This is the blue and white team that have no choice to win, no choice but to win.
Wait, what? The blue and white team, which one's that?
Qui sont un petit peu perdus puis qu'on essaie de les rattraper avec notre énergie sur scène.
Ben, c'est sûr que quand on fait de l'art vivant, le public vivant en avant de nous va nous influencer aussi. Mais aujourd'hui, vous avez accepté de nous faire un cadeau, malgré que je suis le seul public vivant présentement. Vous allez nous faire une lecture. Ah ouais?
Ah ouais?
On s'en regarde. C'est un beau cadeau, merci beaucoup. Puis justement, je pense que ça va intriguer, sûrement intéresser le public à venir se joindre à vous dans une salle. C'est un beau cadeau après 2 ans d'écouter ou de voir des gens à distance. Ça. Fait que là, je vais vous passer le micro.
Parfait. Où j'en étais déjà? Au plan cul de mitochondrie et du maître des soupes Campbell. Ah, Icom. Bon. Leur petite escapade sexuelle a engendré 2 fils illégitimes et forces jumelles. On raconte que le premier, il a glissé par le tuyau comme un filet d'astisco. Puis que la madame a eu le temps de le prendre dans ses bras juste assez longtemps pour lui faire un beau grand...
One of the owners of Tall Boys near Bloor and Ossington tells me the Jays Wildcard Series means a chance for a championship, and that's got the city feeling electric.
So I don't want another one of those.
So you're going to sell more beer?
It feels like people are just generally happier. You know, you see people on the street and they just, wearing their Jays colors or whatever colors of the team that's doing well. And
that bar has a wide selection of craft beers, all the better for watching all our boys in blue. Wayne Cowley, a former Edmonton Oilers player and the owner of Bottom Line, tells me he's feeling incredibly hopeful as well.
Yesterday, unfortunately, we didn't get the result we wanted, but there are still exciting times, and the fans and the customers are kept at the edge of their seat.
James Mackin, City News.
City News time, 8:35. Looks like a headache tonight for Toronto drivers. Your commute may be longer than usual with a number
How
of
many
events
truck
happening
caps
across
and
the city.
ladders and shit?
Advantage has more on your drive.
What a weekend. It's
How many
a holiday,
box
and if
springs?
you are
Let's
heading out
just
of
adjust
town, the core is going to be filled with sports fans. The Blue Jays are hosting the Mariners at the Dome this afternoon.
That's not what you were supposed to. You're supposed to be telling us about the traffic.
This evening, the Red Wings are facing the Leafs at Scotiabank Arena.
You're sitting in traffic going, God damn it, which way do I go?
Traffic into and out of the city all day and into the night hours. So give yourself lots of extra
Wait a
time.
second, this could be all the way through
Could
tomorrow?
be a good option. Otherwise, try taking GO Transit, especially because they will be operating extra GO trains to accommodate the increased demand.
Leave your
we'll
car.
do it again tomorrow with Raptors hosting
I mean,
home
here.
games.
Just leave it here. Take the train home. You've never seen your car.
Today. That will mean another game tomorrow afternoon and likely more traffic.
Any broken electronics you're trying to get rid of, just leave them on the seat in your car.
City News time, 8:35. Thousands of people protested the Iranian government and showed their support for 22-year-old Mahsa Amini in Toronto this afternoon.
We're here to be a voice for all the Iranian men, children of all parts of Iran who are fighting for their most basic.
You gotta get her away from the music to do these
Amini
interviews.
died in police custody after Iran's so-called morality police arrested her for not properly wearing her hijab. Officers say she died of a heart attack, but her family says
I wear my dress code, local purchase t-shirt improperly. Fuck you. It's 40 fucking degrees out here with the humidity. Not now, but it was.
8:36. Today at Nathan Phillips Square, members of Toronto's Afghan community demanded an end to attacks against the Hazara people in Afghanistan. The Hazara is an ethnic minority group that organizers says are frequently attacked by the Taliban. Today's protest at City Hall happened in conjunction with over 70 other protests across the world. This followed a similar rally last week where over 400 people protested at City Hall paying tribute to 40 people who were killed in an attack at an education center in Kabul last month. City News time, 8:37. Advanced voting is now open for Toronto's upcoming municipal election, just 2 weeks away. City's Melissa Nicavoli breaks down how it works. Polling stations are open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day until Friday. If you decide to take advantage of the early voting, remember to bring your voting card you received in the mail with you to the polling station along with a piece of ID that shows your name and address. If your name isn't on a voter's list, you still have to get on it. You can do so by calling the city at 311. Election day is on October 24th.
In fact, you can get on it at the last minute. You show up with your ID.
City News time, 8:37. Downsview Park is home to Pumpkin Fest this long weekend and almost every weekend this month. City's reaction was the very latest.
They're giving equal time to this
and more.
as to both the Iranian and Afghani stories.
The festival's also been
together,
extended.
get the same amount of time as
each weekend in October until the 23rd.
We're gonna finish up with
Meteorologist Carl Lamb tells us if you do plan to bring the family out for some fall fun, don't forget the hat and gloves.
Well, out of Downsview Park today, we've got breezy and cool conditions.
Can they
Temperatures
be
will be
orange?
headed up to a guaranteed high of 13 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. It's not going to feel like 13 with that wind, so certainly a toque or an extra layer is not a bad idea. As we head into the day on Sunday and Monday, though, temperatures returning into the mid-teens, and both days do remain dry.
Today's special guests, the Super Dogs, are performing live tricks on stage, and kids can also meet their favorite show characters, including the Paw Patrol's Chase and Sky, who will be at the festival until about.
This guy said 30 minutes and he never came back. There's no 86, 60 fucking kid. Why is it
require a lot of TLC. You are now having some restorations on Pine Island. There's some more that needs to be done. There was some damage to the infrastructure there. And then, of course, Fort Myers Beach.
Utility crew say power has been nearly restored to the more than 2 million customers who lost electricity during the storm. Michelle Franzen, ABC News. Up next, we'll have your prices at the pumps. City News Time, 8:39.
It's the VIP All Access event of the season, October 13th to 16th, featuring Save the Tax, Buy More, Save More.
Problem is, I really want to hear the gas prices. Like, it's good news.
Save up to $500 on a qualifying KitchenAid package. Plus, take advantage of the Flexity limited time offer. Pay no admin fee on a 24-month equal monthly payment plan with 0% interest. See ApplianceCanada.com for details. Appliance Canada, for your home. For your life.
You motherfuckers started off fucking doing fucking city buildings.
2 cents at midnight to $1.67.9 a liter at most GTA gas stations. Traffic and weather together on the ones coming up next. City News Time.
So there's no news. It's all crap. It's all crap. It's all bullshit and crap. That's helpful. That was real helpful. I really helped everybody by fucking. Notice you got about 60 seconds of news out of that 10 minutes.
I've seen this moment in my dreams. I'll make a pact with you. With the gods as our witnesses, let us pledge that the winner will allow the loser all the proper funeral rituals.
There are no paths between the lines and men.
I'm a soldier, living up the motherfucking cell. Independent picture, don't scare me. So throw the fucking wheel and stare. There we go, now we on the streets, pushing the fish scale. If you wanna fuck with me, I'm up a minute alone and that's the shell. Yeah, fuck you, when it's on, I hear you mother come. Shit that already knows, I'm with the yeah, I'm the king.
The LGBTQ subject is as central to this novel as the abortion subject was to the Cider House Rules.
Novel.
Yes, get me by, smoke my weed. Yes, get me by, drink my liquor. Yes, get me by. Yes, get me by. Yes, get me by. I let the liquor in my system separate in my brain. Feel like I'm floating on a cloud now. Drifting away, a couple bottles at a day. Help me get through the day. Sitting outside of my body, finally my soul is awake. Even just the day of my day, always yelling my name. Sometimes I see it talk to him, he can go to his same. Searching for robbery, victims in the dog alleyways. We real gang members living in the streets, so when the back be the reason why the tactical suited up for a raid. What's the reason why the city has a high crime rate? Keep the facts separate, always ready to spray liquor, taking over my system. Got me loaded the gates, and now I'm drunk driving, doing up a 80 on me. Seen the judge pick up my eyes, started speeding away, turning off that busy road to take it through the gutter lanes. Guaranteed I get away from being so in the cage. Smoke my weed, it's getting me by. Drink my liquor, yeah, it's getting me by. Smoke my weed, yeah, it's getting me by. Drink my liquor, yeah, it's getting me by. Smoke my weed, yeah, it's getting me by. Drink my liquor, yeah, it's getting me by. Yeah, it's getting me by. Yeah, it's getting me by.
Warlock is 24.2%, and the Cold Creek Kush is 21.1%. Not bad. $7, $8.
The only thing.
It's not $25.
Listen, let's go and niggas on me. I'll take you with the place where the boss agree. A place where pain can play an instrument to play a symphony. Luckily, I'm the witness God that sent for me. Until then, the boy on a mission in the kitchen with promotion like them chickens. Yeah, see one with the birdies, something like a Disney flick. Except there's crackheads and guards in this bitch. Reality chill love, we go hard for the block. Keep it real with all cops, like fuck So bitch, I might have sold her a rock. Either way, she just scenery on the way to the top. Yeah, he did it for a minute, stepped that motherfucker dead, and now he's on his way to the bed. Got himself a long bit over some tough shit. Damn, I really miss my homies. Gotta stop and take a second, send some love to Stone, send some love to Stone, send some love to Stone.
Oops.
Going up in the wait a second, something else down here. Which makes sense, the rest of you say, fuck you.
He bound to make the majors, he don't even like sports. He puts free base by the ball all day long. He said fuck school, instead of going to class, he learned to cook the weight back, poke backs to the money stack. No such thing as a dealer with villains. All I know is cold-hearted, bloodthirsty villains. Shit, I watch himself crack the pregnant women and children. I ain't trying to solve the problem, I'm a part of it. Trying to fuck the world, put the things got my throat numb. Liquor got me leaning, dropping my gun. Got a question for the Lord. Why someone always in the dead when we having fun? Through rooms in the casket, time to move on. This is where I'm from, a place of no return. A dead end block where the cracks serve. That's cool signs to the bill of birth. I know that's coming, I'm just waiting to turn. Yeah, I'm drunk, sipping into your bro. Count pennies like ball hard. Yeah, I'm shot with the crack rock. Turn your baby mama's crib to a crack spot. From a block away, get a chopper's break. Better watch what you say, cause you can end up with some cells in your back like have a nice day. I know this ain't no way to live where I'm from. It's the only way that is.
Just to be clear, I've seen videos of guys with no hands roll joints, so I'm bitching, but that's what's going through my head at the moment, that I will get this done somehow.
This ain't no way to live where I'm from. It's the only way that is. I know this ain't no way to live where I'm from. It's the only way that it never gonna stop where I'm breaking the laws. I'm freezing heaven like a pop fly. We facing the boss, you won't be shot by it. I ain't taking the law. My dog squeeze, that's some hot iron straight in the score. They can try to hot wire, but you faded, you go on that. Your mama starts crying cause you faded me floor. Your body drop, it's outline, trace the choke. The shotty pop, with your outline, face to the wall. We can pour all the pop, olive waging the war. The straight swords, it's just pop bottles breaking the jaws. You readers know we make it top dollar. Baking the floor, this crack slanging, see the block models breaking them more. I get the block swallow, won't taking the choice. But if I see them cops follow, won't be shaking them more. The kid is living in chaos, the changes before. We beat the anomalous, we dangerous. Doors walk, let it bang, and we walk in the cages. Slang every day till we walked in our cages. Walking my way, and you talking your great bitch. Talking your name till you're lost in the pavement. PK, off from the story of my profit to say that your carpets are based in a heartless place. Dog lost in my brains, you can walk with your gang, stay on to dangerous. I know this ain't no way to live where I'm from. It's the only way that it is. I know this ain't no way to live where I'm from. It's the only way that it is.
Have a more budget-friendly holiday this year.
Whoa, what's that mean? What's that mean?
Turkey, the stuffing, the cranberries.
With rising grocery prices, it can be hard for many to host a traditional Thanksgiving meal. Rose Rising
Traditional.
It's time for the host to get the guests
Traditional.
involved.
Because the first out of the first group of people that came here, only 15 survived the first winter. You all want to starve and die of fucking cholera and fucking scurvy and shit. That's
She also
tradition.
says you can steer away from the
Not for
traditional
us.
turkey
For
and
your,
try
for
some
your
alternate
tradition.
foods.
That's
Maybe
what
you
it
do a
is.
couple of chickens instead, or you do a ham. You know, try to cut your costs back when you're doing
Vegetables.
Because one of them's, I don't know which one's supposed to be cheaper. I thought they just adjusted the ratio in the hot dogs
You can save
to
money when
match
you buy a frozen turkey
price.
instead of a fresh one, and you can also swap the turkey for a vegetarian meal. Eva Francescato, City News. You're listening to City News.
That'll go over well. I thought you said tradition. Oh, that tradition. Let's talk tradition.
Is going on trial on Monday. Harvey Weinstein is already serving a 23-year sentence for rape and sexual assault in New York. The 70-year-old former movie mogul faces different allegations in LA, including several that prosecutors say occurred during a pivotal Oscar week. Jury selection for an 8-week trial begins Monday. Weinstein was indicted for rape and sexual assault involving 5 women who will appear in court as Jane Does to tell their stories. He has pleaded not guilty. I'm Julie Walker.
Look up that name in Toronto.
City News
Holy
680
fuck.
will have traffic and weather together on the ones. City News.
You're fucking useless.
The world's first luxury crossover SUV, the Lexus RX, is often called the gold standard. Year after year, it's at the leading edge of luxury, safety, and quality. Built in Ontario, every RX from Lexus
Is it really? Please don't label us with that.
It's what we do. Anyone can sell a car. Very few can deliver a Lexus.
Yeah, very few could sell this ugly ass RX, whatever the fuck it's.
4.5% with bi-weekly payments from $398.
Get the 470.
Hey,
Gold trim and all that shit.
About rising interest rates and the effect that's going to have on real estate?
You're never going to sell it once you own it.
President of Simple Investors. Join me for our Simple Real Estate Investment webinar and seminar on Thursday, October the 20th.
Hold on, what is the? What are you talking about? Are you just live streaming a seminar?
How you navigate them, as well as difficult.
You're gonna like flash mob a webinar. Like, what's the deal?
SimpleInvestor.com today. The Simple Investor. We make the world of real estate investment simple.
I'm already confused.
City News time, 8:51. Time for traffic and weather together on the one.
This is all voice activated. It'd be off of it.
This report is brought to you by Aaron Waxman and Associates. The southbound DVB south of the 401 left lane closed off due to a crash. Emergency crews are on scene for this, seeing a heavy delay from Shepherd. Once you're south of the
Remember, tow trucks are like emergency roadside assistance. Like, it doesn't mean anybody's helping anybody yet.
After that, eastbound Gardner is still seeing a bit of a delay. Looks like from Dufferin off and on to about the Spadina Ram, so that's definitely starting to improve there. Eastbound and westbound 401 lightly traveled and moving up to speed.
That's going to get a lot worse.
Out of the city using the Gardner QEW combo westbound. Also no issues there, so it's looking like a pretty good drive.
Where the fuck we were in this soundtrack?
Stupid smile, consistent pain in the sorrow. We all live in the time that's borrowed. Big city, Burger King, place where they die for their flags. Yeah, the land and the law, over the Surah Valley. I'm 16 with a gun in a black finale. I had a crack looking for a place to rest. Sizzling like chains weighing me down, holding me tight, never letting me go. It's hard to see me if you does. Just to understand why I'm a thug, why I'm on play. Middle finger walk screaming, I don't give a fuck. Nah, I don't give a fuck. BK 5023, that's what's up. That's what's up. I'm a sinner. All I know is evil. All my friends are demons. This life is hell. I'm a sinner. All I know is evil. All my friends are demons. This life is hell.
Okay, man, are you ready to go? I'm ready to go. Now, come on, now, rank this one.
That's the way.
Yeah, gang life records, my kids,
Hear the sound as my heart breaks. It's real cold, full of snakes. What you want me to say? Yeah, I changed, but I don't know no other way. Cause he's in the hallway. Police must have pulled me all day. Took a loss to his business as usual. Ain't nothing to a pirate. Coke and the pirates die before I break the silence.
Is maybe a quarter or a fifth of the true number of people who are food insecure. Food insecurity can be anywhere from
you only give them so much, but obviously more like
quality of food, or
you can assume that from the fucking base model you're operating on.
Altogether. This problem is only expected to get worse as we enter the colder months, with more people spending money on heating their homes, buying warmer clothes, and even back-to-school supplies. Reporting for City News,
You got people choosing between those, eh? Like that's
next on City News 680, we'll have your business report. City News time 8:54.
you can save money by serving what they say chicken instead of ham or some bullshit.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
And end up with a migraine by noon. The fuck were we? This volume control doesn't do what I want it to do.
The fucking Sheila, we march forever endless. From the gates of hell are sending us preparing to our doorstep with fire at its.
Yeah, gang life records, my kid. Hear the sound as my heart breaks. It's real cold, full of snakes. What you want me to say? Yeah, I changed, but I don't know no other way. Cause he's in the hallway. Police must have pulled me all day. Took a loss to his business as usual. Ain't nothing to a pirate. Coke and the pirates die before I break the silence. All I know is stone crossbows. Trying to call God. All I got was a dial tone. Now lately, I don't give a fuck about nothing. Not a dirty bitch, I ain't cuffing. But she probably already owe me something. Send her to the corner, tell her suck a dick. Just another gutter kid with dreams of being rich. Don't judge me, I ain't heartless. I just really use my heart less.
It could be a serious problem this winter.
Not too much. Embrace the presence, we the essence, never sent this twisted kids of Paris. Serving out a sentence called life, living hellish. You embellish, you be holding on to everything you cherish. I'm an angel with the ripper wings and the gleaming jelly. With my halo painted black, flaming crown, my demon jealous. Contemplating with myself, forget the struggle, leaves me restless. Competition with some falling down my back against the fences. Lord, the fucking Sheila, we march forever endless. From the gates of hell are sending us fire to our doorstep. With fire at its stage, just a melody.
I'm very anxious about that. Now they're saying, oh yeah, I'm sort of comfortable with it now. I think I'm okay. But I think that's a bit of a false sense of optimism because I don't think the full effects of inflation, interest rates have really settled in yet.
Didn't we just hear like 3 stories in a row about shit going up?
Even with this optimism, they're still struggling to pay for everyday items.
You're right. These aren't luxury items. These are the staples that people need to survive day to day. And the winter's coming. Holiday season's coming, so there's going to be pressure for gifts. And
The winter's always coming, you motherfuckers. Like after this one will be another one.
Go up again, so everyone just has to be careful. Optimism's great. I think it's good for morale, but just guard it a little bit.
And younger Canadians, those between 18 and 34, have been hit the hardest.
I think our survey did say that
that's a wide spread.
Did go down the most in this last quarter compared to other,
Putting me in the same. Hold on.
Makes sense. They probably don't have.
I'm in the 35 to dead category.
Demographics. Younger kids to support, probably house payments, car payments. The older demographic has that payoff. So, they're probably the ones that have to be most careful through this.
Yeah, but those older people are the ones borrowing money against them. Though you reverse mortgages and bullshit and leasing cars that are supposed to be more environmentally friendly and bullshit.
Traffic and weather
together on the one. Autos. For breaking news, traffic, and weather.
This is City News.
Block with it, force fed the rock. Around here, the gangs and the drugs, what we got. Only way you live in the hood is in the box. Won't pray, but it don't help now. That's why we invest in guns. You hear the click clack, cause it judge you rock. You can feel me now, feel like my daughter and I. Tell her lies, tell her everything will be alright. last night. Lost souls, gangsters, thugs, and criminals. This is gang life, and it's all we know. Caught up in the system, running through the cycle. Gotta prove our innocence, cause we born guilty innocence of the father become a child. Only thing you had besides a smile. And they wonder why we go from small time to major crimes. Organized something that they can't see. Man in the man now, it ain't me. But if it ain't me, then who could it be? But if it ain't me, then who could it be? So there's something that they can't see. Man in the man now, it ain't me. Yeah, if it ain't me, then who could it be? If it ain't me, then who could it be? Feel the danger coming at your face with a razor take. If you got it enough, I mean, I'ma take. Leave the corpse on the pavement. So my soul got a gold chain as my payment. Super Satan, stuck in the holy war. Like Godfathers before, forefathers screaming for more. Cause we're warring up, big brother watching over us. And our cause we trust. Truly God ain't one of us. In the alleys, in the cuts, where the demons dwell. And that's something you can feel. Another slave born into hell. I'm gonna put this lifestyle in the jail. Cause if I can hear being nervous around me, gotta be no lucky reality. Where I sleep every reality, keep it going and going without the batteries. Let's get this off of the universe every time.
And I'm Camilla Baines. Here's what's making news this hour.
Happening now across the city, sports bars are pouring shots and pulling pints while fans watch several big games. With the G's,
you think the traffic's going to clear up faster at those? That don't even make sense.
It's going to be a very busy one into and out of the downtown core, so give yourself extra time. Full details coming up.
I just said that.
Pumpkin Fest kicks off this Thanksgiving long weekend at Downsview Park.
They used to let you download whatever the last traffic report was. I can't figure out how to do that anymore.
Straight to the Mariners, so that's it.
Archives that shit somewhere, and I want
the Red Wings here at home. Sports at 15.
We get the most hilarious traffic reports.
Lexus is about to start production of its flagship SUV, and its Canadian manufacturing facility has been chosen to build it.
In one report,
News time 9:01.
a hole in the ground, a pile of dirt, a shovel, and a pylon in 4 different
This
locations.
report is brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers, southbound DVP, south of the 401 collision still blocking the left lane. Emergency crews are on scene. Expected delay from Shepherd. Once you're south of the scene of the collision, though, you're in for a pretty good drive. Northbound DVP, no issues there. Same with the eastbound and westbound 401, moving up to speed. Lightly traveled at this time, that's for sure. Turning into the city using the eastbound Gardner, still a bit of a delay. Very short stretch of the highway here, Bathurst to about York. Just seeing a bit of a delay through that part. If you're heading out of the city using the westbound Gardner, that's looking like a pretty good drive. Same with the westbound QEW. No issues on the 410 either. You paid for your disability benefits, and now the insurance company says no. Call Diamond and Diamond, Canada's largest injury law firm with over 60 lawyers. 1-800-567-HURT. You're not
Spend a lot of time talking to myself like you're still here. Only thing I can do is pour my liquor on and send you my prayer. Just another day living in the hood. Just another day around the way. Feeling good today. I didn't die today. Just another day living in the hood. Just another day around the way. Feeling good today. You wanna see us stay. It ain't unusual to hear gunshots on the block. Hung aside the deck from the corner, taping out the murder spot. The jack boys down the street saying, give me what you got. Little homie used to rap, he hustle hard to get that watch. So we refuse to give it up. One shell from the clock, lay on the blocks. Someone else is wearing that watch. Yeah, listen to the whole world, better learn to hold your own. What's the next tombstone that they call
Toronto couldn't convince Seattle for 2 games.
For some reason, even though the sun's shining over here, it still rains. Lord, forgive me for my evil ways. Still, I'll never change. I'll always be this way. For some reason, we just gotta learn the hard way. Me, I pump packs from Selkirk to Broadway. I'll be repping for my city every day, all day. From your black flag cook, cause you feel me. It's gang life, motherfucker, till they kill me. Kill me. Just another day living in the hood. Just another day around the way. Good today. I didn't die today.
For home and call with some of them, we had a larger sense of feeling.
Are we on the verge of a nuclear fucking war? And the number one story is how do the people coming out of the is the game over now? I don't want to know what these people is when the game I want to hear I want you walking up to them on the DVP in gridlock asking how do you feel right now?
What was you thinking about? Run up in your home and put the pistol in your mouth. Pistol whip you on your cap. Love money, baby, love money. But for that, I had no money. Came from nothing. Used to thinking about having something left to only trust in me. Cause some homies simply doing it now. Keep my hands to the street. Even when I sleep, I keep an eye open in case they try to creep. If it ain't my fault, think you begging to me. Trying to talk that side. Just in my head, keep it down.
So it's always we specialize in craft beer from Ontario. We have a large selection of tallboy style cans, like the big 473 mils.
She says that any day there's a game
500 in Europe
to check for availability. That bar also has a large basement area, all the more room to enjoy the game.
Just come out.
Downtown, Wayne Cowley, the owner of Bottom Line near Scotiabank Arena, says they're preparing for what they believe could be the busiest night of the year.
We're licensed for 290 sports fans. So if you can't get a ticket to the game,
what's your legal capacity? Because that's not the same thing right now. What is it? What is it?
Big screens.
He adds that you should call ahead and make a reservation if you do want to head out there, whether or not it's game night. James Mackin, City News.
City News.
Hold on, how many people are allowed in there right now?
Patience drivers, it may be an annoying drive out there. Here's Ari Rabinovich with all you need to know.
It's a holiday weekend, and it's a busy one leaving the GTA. But if you're staying around the city, there's a lot happening around town. With the Jays game this afternoon, the Leafs and the Argos also playing at home. It's going to be very tricky getting into and out of the city. So you may want to entertain options like carpooling or public transit, as it's going to be very slow on the highways. With that in mind, Go Transit is running extra Go trains all weekend because of the increased demand. There's also a closure of St. Joseph Street between Queens Park and Bay for the Latin Falls Fiesta. An active TO has Bayview closed from Rosedale Valley Road to Lauren Harris Square, including River Street from Bayview to Spruce. With an eye on your drive, Ari Rabinovich, City News.
City News time, 9:06. Hundreds of people marched downtown this afternoon to protest the Iranian government in solidarity with Mahsa Amini.
Finally, the time that everyone knows how important it is for women to be able to decide what they want to do with their body.
It started around 4 at Queens Park before the protesters started heading south to the harbor front. The 22-year-old
stay away from the water. That's where they keep drowning
she
people.
was detained for not wearing her hijab properly. Police say she died of a heart attack, but her family says police beat her to death. Last week in Richmond Hill, 50,000 people showed up for a similar protest.
City News time, 9:07. Members of Toronto's Afghan community gathered at City Hall this evening for a protest in response to attacks against the Hazara people. That's an ethnic minority group organizers say are being constantly targeted in attacks by groups such as the Taliban and ISIS. Similar protests were being from more than 70 cities worldwide today. On Sunday, over 400 demonstrators attended a justice rally at City Hall, paying tribute to at least 40 people, mostly female students who were killed in an attack on an education center last month in the Afghan capital of Kabul.
City News time, 9:08. This just into City News 680, Andrea Skinner has resigned as the interim chair of Hockey Canada. The organization has come under intense scrutiny in recent months.
Remember, everything that happened that started with the Archdiocese in Boston began up here in the fucking hockey leagues, NHL and junior
funding of several sponsors, including Tim Hortons and Nike. Stay with City News 680 for the latest on this developing story.
City News time 9:08. After last year's demand, Pumpkin Fest Toronto is back.
Damn it,
running
why
not
would
only
you...
this long weekend, but every Saturday and Sunday until October 23rd. City's Rianne Campbell with the latest.
Organizers say the demand for Pumpkin Fest last year was so high, they've decided to expand the festival across 3 weekends this October, kicking off this Thanksgiving long weekend.
Avoir écrit que les idéaux de mai se convertissaient en objets. Oui, tout simplement aussi, c'est parce qu'il y a eu une coïncidence des désirs de liberté, de libéralisation, et également un essor de plus en plus grand de la société qui fournit les objets. Et c'est une période inflationniste au point de vue économique. Dans les années 70, il y avait la possibilité. Consommation.
6 p.m. every Saturday and Sunday this month until October 23rd.
For City News, I'm Rianne Campbell. Coming up next, we'll have traffic and weather together on the ones and your gas price update. City News time 9:09.
City News acknowledges the land we broadcast from as the ancestral territories of the Anishinaabe, the Wendat, and currently the Haudenosaunee peoples.
And since 1805, the treaty lands of the Mississaugas
Some radio bingo up in this shit.
Is City News 680.
Hi, Steve here. And Pam too. Steve, what a difference a year makes.
That's right.
I'm disappointed. I'm timing my joints wrong. I should be lighting it after. They rounded off a bunch of sponsors that are big companies. I gotta hear this now.
There's a beautiful, like steely eyes and shoulders back and strong and you just see the solidarity. I don't have sisters. You do.
What?
Yeah. You gotta love Carrie, your beautiful sister. But I'm just like, I'm looking at them going, what would that have been like? I've got 2 brothers, which is great, but sisters must be something else.
There's a certain bond side.
I just love the idea of, I wish I'd been there. Like, I just would have loved to have been in that room full of powerful women whose voices still need to be out there. And I just, the world of journalism needs those voices. And Anna Maria Tremonti has also been through so much. There are so many stories there. Oh my God, I just love, when she came up
to me, killing Pakistani journalists in Toronto and nobody's talking about it.
I was actually like fanning out. I have seen her in various helmets over the years, reporting from the field, reporting from difficult situations, whether it's famines, wars, floods, turmoil, Ebola. Like, Anna Maria has just been out there, and she came up to me, and I almost had imposter syndrome for, most of the evening. I felt kind of unworthy to be there, but I had, so much support, and I had people reminding me of how important music is in the field. Like Lisa said, music saved me so much of the time. Putting in my...
Okay, you say Ebola, I think of the people I see digging holes to bury bodies, and they ask them why, and they say because somebody has to do it. And the funeral home drivers listen to heavy metal turned all the way up. I know they do, because that's how they show up here. Minivans with black windows, you wouldn't realize what it was.
Hosted by Jeff Merrick with new questions every day. Your next report in less than 10 minutes. Now with the weather, here's Carl Lamb.
We've got a partly cloudy sky tonight, and it's still a bit breezy even into the evening as well. Overnight lows dropping down to 5, but it's cooler up in cottage country. For tomorrow, 15, the high sun and cloud, and some showers start up north
that's a real
and then work
number.
their way towards the GTA by the afternoon, and it looks like some of the rain will be a little heavier out towards the east end, and then down to 6 degrees on Sunday night. Then for Monday on Thanksgiving, sun and cloud, a few morning rain showers possible, but the rest of the day is dry and just a high of 13 on Monday. Tonight's overnight low is 5.
In downtown Toronto, we're looking at partly cloudy skies at 11, feeling like 9, and over at Toronto Pearson Airport, we're looking at similar conditions.
It's fucking wind chill. They won't use that word.
This Let's just to City News 680. Hamilton police say 2 children have died after an ATV accident. Shortly after 4 o'clock this afternoon, police responded to the area of Miles Road and Airport Road in Binbrook. The victims, a boy and a girl, were taken to McMaster Children's Hospital, both without vital signs. An investigation into the deaths is underway. Stay with City News 680 for the latest on this developing story. City News time, it's 9:14.
Wednesday starting at 8. The call.
See, that one won't get a follow-up. That will not get a follow-up. That one will not get a follow-up. The first one might, but that one won't. I guarantee. Fuck, I'm going to listen all night to prove my point.
Here's my question to you, because a lot of people feel like they don't have a way to help. They're sitting at home with their cup of coffee watching the news, and they feel displaced from what's happening. So how do we help? How do we help women, journalists, racialized people that are being shut up, they're being tortured, they're being imprisoned? I don't know, I think people feel helpless.
I don't think there's one answer for that. I do know we've had experts.
There is. Stop being racist pieces of shit. Is that simple?
Share stories, amplify voices. I think the more awareness. There was a story that I shared on the show recently about a woman who had actually been arrested, and I believe it was in Iran, for attending a men's soccer game, which was against the law there. And so the morality police came in and they arrested
the morality police, which sounds like last week we were talking about what a joke that is. You know, when your girlfriend's going out and you're like, you actually gonna wear that? What are you, the morality police? I mean, I don't think any of us really knew where that stamp came from.
Yeah.
And there really is a morality police.
So this woman ended up, in protest, setting herself on fire. And in reaction to that, there was such pressure put on their government, in particular their soccer rules or their football rules, that they changed the rules. And now women are allowed, given a certain area of the soccer field, but they are allowed to attend there. So that's an example of something that happens. I mean, it's a horrible story, but it had an impact in the world, and then it changed the game because there was pressure put on. And that's, I think, the best that we can hope for besides donating money. We can amplify voices, we can put pressure on our governments, and then, we hope that there will be a ripple effect from there.
Standing in solidarity, like you said, Jim.
Cynthia Loist from one of the wonderful hosts from The Social. 10 years they've been on the air, 10 seasons of The Social. A group of really powerful.
I don't know what that is.
Season. It's now the second time.
Damn it.
On va féliciter l'homme, on va dire qu'il s'occupe très bien de sa femme. Pourtant, quand le mariage décline, quand il y a divorce, on dirait que c'est la femme qui est une mauvaise épouse. Donc, tout ce qui est mauvais est affecté à la femme. Oui.
Alors, on va voir du côté de nos libraires qui ont lu votre livre, Ernest, premier roman pré.
There's fucking black holes in radio broadcasting.
San Diego leading that series 1-0. Hockey Canada.
This is going to be bad too in this area.
Emmène ailleurs, ce qui est pour moi toujours appréciable.
Sometimes trying to keep hope alive is the biggest challenge.
He was lucky he had you fighting for him.
And a home transplant. Get into it Friday at 9. Set your PPR only on CTV.
With the Red Wings after falling 4-2 yesterday.
Mnemonically, all that makes me think of is the bus shelter where the junkies
win on the exhibition campaign. They're leading 4-1 here in the third, less than 6 minutes to go. Willie Nylander with the pair so far. A CFL doubleheader today with one already in the books. The Argos getting past the Lions over at BMO Field with a spicy fourth quarter that saw the lead change hands 3 times. Toronto holding on for the 23-20 win. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Every woman has a right to be healthy and safe, but many face challenges that are tough to overcome alone. That's why Love You by Shoppers Drug Mart is committed to advancing women's health and well-being by supporting more than 450 women's charities annually, from coast to coast. To learn more about Love You by Shoppers Drug Mart and to donate, visit shoppersdrugmart.ca/loveyou. Love You by Shoppers Drug Mart, putting women's health first since 2011.
When you sweep something under the rug,
Does it make it go away?
It's 2011.
Your unfinished basement is under the rug, and it's not going anywhere. So why don't you just do it?
$1 million. Bonus deadline is Friday, October 21st. Tickets at PrincessMargaretLotto.com. Play responsibly.
Because the hospital needs hundreds of millions of dollars of your gambling money.
City News Time 9:19. South Korea says North Korea has fired a ballistic missile towards its eastern waters. It's one of the latest in several weapon tests this week. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff says the launch was made early today, but didn't give more details. The Japanese government also says North Korea has fired a possible ballistic missile. The launch, the North's 6th round of weapon tests in 2 weeks, came hours after the United States and South Korea wrapped around of naval drills of the Korean Peninsula East Coast. North Korea's military warned that the U.S. redeployment of the aircraft carrier near the Korean Peninsula is causing a, quote, negative splash in regional security. You're listening to City News 680. At least 10 people have been killed in an explosion at a gas station in a small village in Ireland.
The gas station in Donegal County, Ireland, leveled.
I want to pass on our sincere condolences to the families and friends of the victims of this terrible tragedy.
Gary Martin directs emergency services in Donegal County.
We will remain on site in an ongoing search and check phase to ensure that there are no remaining casualties in the building.
Milford Police Superintendent David Kelly says the cause is under investigation.
What are you talking about? How big is the gas station?
Is pointing towards a tragic accident. Crews Saturday combing through the rubble for
How
more
much
victims.
alcohol
Dave Packer,
or
ABC
cigarettes were involved in this
Coming up,
gas
coming
station
order
explosion?
together. City News Time 9:20.
Desjardins Insurance presents Know Your Clients. We're here with Desjardins agent Tom. Tom, what did your client Peter recently inherit?
An antique cuckoo clock.
So you suggested
Additional coverage
because
it was hand carved in 1856 from Linden.
Makes us the best network to get the new iPhone 14 Pro, which of course is the greatest
The
iPhone
company
of
that
all
owns
time.
the radio station.
Yes, you get it. That and how we're also the most giving
Sheep!
network.
They're calling
And now
you
that it's
sheep!
here,
Us,
visit us
yes.
online at TELUS.com to order the latest, the greatest iPhone of all time.
Oh,
For $0
okay. I don't know why
upfront
they're
with TELUS Easy
marketing it.
Payment.
That's something that's always confused
Let's
me.
make the future friendly. Conditions apply, plus taxes.
Hello, welcome back to our new podcast. Our special guest,
Podcast
she's an
this shit.
author, she's very philanthropic,
Skip
she's a
this.
mom, she's a daughter, she's a sister, she's a television show host, she's a writer, a producer. Pleasure pusher. She's a pleasure pusher. She knows more about sexuality than I did in 1979, which is saying a lot, because I was at the top of my game. No, that wasn't the top of my game. 89. Okay, forget it. Cynthia, you have been single parenting the last 3 months, and I'm going to tell people why. Your husband is
You started talking about your
very
past.
gifted photographer, director of photography, filmmaker.
401 lately traveled and moving up to speed, so no issues there on the northbound DVP. Looks like there is a bit of a slowdown. Looks like vehicles probably slowing down to take a look at that collision on the southbound DVP. You're just not quite moving up to speed, but the delay is really not that bad. If you're traveling out of the city using the westbound Gardner CW combo, also lightly traveling, moving up to speed, so no issues there. I'm actually seeing a bit of a delay on the northbound 427. Looks like it's in the express from Burnhamthorpe to just north of Rathburn. Whether you are buying, selling, or renovating a home, boundaries matter. Buy and download your property's land survey at protectyourboundaries.ca. Your next report in less than 10 minutes. Now with the weather, here's Carl Lamb.
Winds will still stick with us for the evening, but then they'll start to die down as we head into the overnight. We're dropping down to a low of 5 degrees. And then for tomorrow, the wind is back. A westerly wind around 20 to 30 kilometers per hour, sun and cloud. And a few showers drifting from north to south throughout the day. 15 is the high, 6 is the low. And then for Thanksgiving itself, sun and cloud and 13 degrees after a few morning rain showers. But ultimately, it's not a washout for sure because it's going to dry out by the late morning.
That's the worst
and then on
way.
Tuesday, 15
Cynical
with
and negative
sunshine,
shit is.
and we warm things up for Wednesday as well. Tonight's overnight
It's
low
not really a
is
wash.
5.
Wow. It's not.
In downtown Toronto, we're looking at a few clouds as 11 feels like 8 over at Toronto Pearson. Similar conditions. Coming up at 9:30, we'll have a recap of the Blue Jays and Mariners game. The blue and white team has been eliminated. We'll also have fan reaction of the heartbreaking loss, and we're following 2 new breaking stories. First, from Hockey Canada, Andrea Skinner, the interim chair of Hockey Canada, has resigned. And tragic news out of Hamilton. Police confirm 2 children have died after an ATV accident. City News Time, 9:23.
Dream big.
You're going to tell us in like 2 minutes, or you're going to tell us in 23
to reach the incredible $7.2 million grand prize.
Damn it.
So many single parents don't have that light. They're really looking down the barrel of year after year after year of like, am I doing this on my own? And you did. I was very impressed with you. I was impressed with you before this happened, but you really stepped into that, and it was scary, and you made a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah. I will say, yeah, piece of advice to any single parents out there would be to, you got to simplify. And one thing that I realized was just, well, you have to have a good network. I think the only way you survive that is by also having like a community of other moms and parents and kid friends that you can rely on. That to me was a lifesaver. Knowing that I could be like, okay, after camp, you're gonna go to so-and-so's house, and that like otherwise I would have never had a moment to myself. But also you have to like, we have this perfection problem with motherhood in particular now, and I don't know, Adam, Sarah, like Jan, our moms.
We'll have your business report with Tim Demopoulos. City News Time, 9:25.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Appliance Canada.
It's the VIP.
Again tonight? Fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna go and you're gonna have extra screen time. Like there were certain things I had to be like, you know what? It's good enough. Good enough parenting.
I'm with you.
Thank you.
Sometimes you have to let the iPad do all the parenting.
Whoa. You kind of do.
Who's this guy?
I can barely look after my dog. Like, and I mean that. When you're talking about get outside, we'll see you in 4 hours, we'll do it when we were growing up. Further to that, we get kicked outside, and then I'd hear the door lock. Like, was that a deadbolt that just went off behind me? I'll ring the bell when it's time to eat. And I've talked about this before. My mom worked. My dad worked. My older brother was AWOL. My younger brother, he was 5 years younger than me, was, you know, he was very self-sufficient. But I was just like, my mom would put stuff in the crock pot.
Because he saw the older brother run.
Mystery meat in the morning. Go get something out of the freezer. And of course, my parents bought like a half a hog or a half a cow from the neighbors, and everything was wrapped in brown wax paper. I didn't know a pork chop from a gonad. Honestly, I brought up whatever. It went into the crock pot with a can of tomatoes, some rice, 2 potatoes, and maybe a half a cabbage if that's what she had. And that's what, I mean, so talking about meals, yes, we ate everything.
I find meal prepping for me, one person living alone, a huge undertaking. So I can't even imagine doing it for a family.
No, I really don't know how. I'm in awe of parents and how they're navigating social media, computer stuff, getting their kids into sports, you know, kind of, I don't know, vetting their friendships. Do you find that you do that?
That's an interesting question. I mean, you definitely, you know, you have to surround yourself with people. Like, I'm only child, right? And don't, you know, that's a nut to crack. Like, I have so much guilt over having an only child. I have, you know, this kind of, yeah, I'm not going to go down that road right now. But anyway, to say that because he's an only child, I have to really, really make sure that that social piece is there. So yeah, when it comes to friends, I think any of my recent friends have been as a result of, do you have a kid? Is the kid around me? My kid's age?
Does he have a felony?
That's okay. Don't care about that. I'm okay with that, as long as they're gonna play with my kid.
Is it what you thought it would be? That idea from the time, you know, we're little girls or young women to have a child? Is it anywhere close to what you had imagined?
I never, and you know this about me, I was very resistant to the idea of becoming a parent. I didn't think I wanted to be a parent. So I wasn't one of those kids who grew up playing with dollies and imagining myself pregnant one day and becoming a mom.
Oh, well, there's a lot to read into this.
You need a bank that can see the path ahead for your business.
I'm gonna be childless by choice. And then I hit around 33 and I was kind of like, I wonder if I never even try to get pregnant, I wonder if I might regret it down the road. So I was just like, Jade, maybe we should just give it a go and see. And I thought maybe a little over a year for me to get used to the idea in case it happens, because so many of my friends struggled with fertility. And then we got pregnant right away.
Adam's pointing at himself because he and his wife, they struggled for years to get pregnant.
Yeah, that was a 5-year journey.
5 years.
5 years, but now I have 2 beautiful girls, 9 and 11, and they're great.
Oh, see, I can be friends with you because my son is 9.
Oh, let's do a play date after. We'll figure that out.
Well, I spent my 20s and a good part of my 30s praying that I wasn't pregnant. I would say I'm never going to do it again. I won't drink again. That was so much of my young womanhood was just being promiscuous. The last thing I worried about was pregnant until my period was maybe like a week late. Then I was like, oh no. But I had a mother, and I'm not kidding you. Well, you know your dad and I will take that baby. So you can keep singing and do whatever you want, but Dad and I'll help. So I swear to God, the mother that I had, and when you think about my lifestyle, because I had boyfriends, I had girlfriends, it was just like, you're a normal person, and you're a private person. And I would look at her, and I'm like, what the fuck? What planet are you from? But
That's
she
how I'm
was
feeling about this.
absolutely earnest in her belief in me as a person.
We are blue in the city today as sports bars host thousands of Jays, Leafs, and Argos fans.
Toronto is a fully loaded sports city this weekend, and that means traffic into and out of the core is going to be very heavy. Give yourself extra time and keep it tuned to City News for traffic updates on your drive.
What does that mean? Breaking news from Hockey Canada. They've confirmed that the interim chair of the board of directors has resigned.
Why?
Breaking news from Hamilton, where 2 children under the age of 10 have died after an ATV accident.
You're not going to tell us anything new.
That's all they wrote. The Blue Jays campaign is officially done, getting swept by the Mariners at Rogers Center, and it's another Saturday CFL doubleheader. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, Kitchen Hub has teamed up with supermarket chain Longo's to open Toronto's first virtual food hall within a grocery store.
City News time, 9:31.
That sounds like a commercial, really.
Together on the ones. Here's Mike Daisy.
This report is brought to you by your local.
Is there a crash still on the side of the whatever at the whatever?
Talk 1010, Toronto. One twist after another. It's the series that makes money.
Jesus Christ.
The crash that you are looking at rather a pretty good drive. Northbound DVP is moving up to speed. Eastbound 401 minor delay through Allen in the Express Collectors is moving better. Westbound 401 busy Mavis Express and Collectors to Mississauga Road. And if you're on the eastbound Gardner, still seeing a bit of a delay Bathurst to York. Other than that, everything else is looking like it's lightly traveled and moving up to speed. Northbound 427, there was a bit of a delay through Burnham Thorpe in the Express. Doesn't look like that's the case anymore. Southbound 427, no issues there. And if you're on the southbound or northbound 400, you're in for a pretty good drive as well. Beware of deep fake vehicles pretending to be Subarus. Don't fall for fakes this fall. Get the real deal at your Subaru dealer with award-winning safety and symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Your next report is in less than 10 minutes. Now with the weather, here's Carl Lamb.
Definitely on the cooler side tonight. 5 is the overnight low with a partly cloudy sky, but cooler up north as well. And then we head into the day tomorrow. Sun and clouds. Temperatures getting up to about 15 degrees. We'll have a few showers starting up north, but then as we head into the afternoon, it's going to drift into the GTA. A few showers possible, and definitely some steadier rain possible out towards the east end as well. And our high on Sunday is 15. Tonight's overnight low is 5 degrees.
In downtown Toronto, we're looking at a few clouds. 11 feels like 8. Over at Toronto Pearson, similar conditions. City News time, 9:33.
Now, City News, in-depth team coverage.
We're gonna celebrate.
Peut-être un peu trop Adèle et trop réservé aux fidèles.
Bien, la Belgique des Boradors blancs, vous n'êtes pas d'accord?
Moi non, moi j'ai trouvé ça merveilleux, parce que au lieu d'avoir l'impression d'être une vieille taupe, j'avais l'impression d'être une petite fille, et j'ai retrouvé un peu l'émotion fébrile et inquiète qui m'habitait quand j'ai découvert les premières histoires d'Adèle dans les à suivre de mon papa que je chipais en cachette. Eh ben, la recette, elle est toujours la même. Les personnages, ils sont toujours aussi laids. Et Adèle, elle est toujours aussi belle et élégante. Enfin, presque toujours, je ne l'oublie pas. Et on est tellement fascinés par leur allure à tous, par l'ambiance, mais qu'on oublie parfois de suivre l'histoire. Mais c'est pas grave parce que le récit fonctionne. Et là, ben, moi, j'ai qu'une envie. Je vais vous laisser et je vais me replonger dans la série en entier parce que je vais faire durer le plaisir. Vous n'avez pas idée.
Eh oui, Jacques Tardy, vous êtes fait plaisir. C'est normal, c'est le dernier volume, donc on est obligé de faire des références, on est obligé de faire des clins d'œil aussi à tous les fans.
You're like, what else can you say? And I got the fighting spirit.
Fighting spirit. Because we're fully loaded.
Intuit MailChimp. Based on competitor brand publicly available data on worldwide numbers of customers in 2021-2022.
Denied long-term disability, can't return to work? Before you call a lawyer, discover your rights at disabilityrights.ca. The Disability Law Show, Saturday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1010.
Hi, I'm John Tory, and I'm asking for your vote for mayor.
Oh, this is a lifetime of loving the Mariners, die hard, coming true right now. This is the greatest day of my life.
This is the Mariners' first playoff appearance since 2001.
It's the greatest day of his
City
life.
News
What else
Time
happened?
9:35. It was a wild day for
seriously,
kitchen
what else
doorstep
happened
around the city. City's James Mackin spoke to sport bars.
I mean, unless
who
you're
are all
like
gearing up for a
every
big
day,
night in the world of sports.
Otherwise,
Wayne Cowley, the owner of Bottom Line and a former NHL player with the Edmonton Oilers, tells me this could be one of the busiest days of the year.
We're expecting a tremendously busy day. Like, you've got 3 major sports teams in Toronto playing. And, you know, the Jays, obviously, it's a playoff game.
3 major fucking wars.
So, yeah, we're expecting a really, really busy day.
He adds that you should call ahead for a reservation if you plan on heading out to this bar, which is right around the corner from the Hockey Hall of Fame. A little further west, owner Tom Kakachi of Tall Boys tells me they've got a Jays championship flag inside, and they're hoping to add a second.
Anytime that a Toronto sports team does well, the city does well. Like, if you remember what the Raptors run was like, that was an incredible time for the city.
Yeah, it's that if you do plan on heading to this bar near Bloor West in Ossington, you should call ahead and check out some of their craft beers. James Mackin, City News.
City News Time 9:36. A busy but entertaining night for sports fans here in the 6th, and just a busy night for Toronto drivers. 3 Toronto sports teams were playing downtown today. Here's our Ari Rabinovich with details.
Okay, Toronto, it's never been a better time to be a Toronto sports fan, but if you know Toronto, you know it's a city of heavy traffic, with the Blue Jays and Argos hosting games this afternoon, and the Maple Leafs hosting at the Scotiabank Arena this evening. Fans will be making their way into and out of the downtown core throughout the day today. Plan your commute accordingly, as highways are expected to be jammed. You could try GO Transit as they are operating extra trains to accommodate the extra demand. Active TO also has Bayview closed Rosedale Valley Road south to Lauren Harris Square, and the Latin Fall Festival has St. Joseph closed between Bay and Queen's Park. With an eye on your drive, Ari Rabinovich, City News.
City News Time 9:37.
That's what that is.
We're following breaking news from Hockey Canada. Andrea Skinner has resigned as interim chair of the organization's board of directors. She took on the role in August after the resignation of former chair Michael Brindamore. Hockey Canada has faced intense scrutiny over its handling of sexual assault allegations since earlier this year, when it was made public that an undisclosed settlement was paid to a woman who alleged she was sexually assaulted by 8 players in 2018, including members of Canada's World Junior team. Allegations have also been brought against the 2003 World Junior team. Hockey Canada has lost the support of sponsors over the past week, including Nike and Scotiabank.
City News Time 9:38. And breaking news from Hamilton, where Hamilton police say 2 children have died after an ATV accident. Police responded to the scene just after 4 p.m. around Miles Road and Airport Road in Binbrook. Both children, a boy and a girl, were under 10 years old. They were transported to McMaster Children's Hospital with no vitals. The investigation into their death continues. Stay with City News 680 for the latest on this developing story.
You're listening to City News 680. It's 9:38. Demonstrators gathered downtown this afternoon with Iranian flags in hand for what organizers described as a solidarity protest with the women of Iran. It comes after 22-year-old Mahsa Amini died in police custody after the so-called morality police arrested her last month for allegedly not wearing her hijab properly. Her family says she was beaten to death, but police say she died from a heart attack. This demonstrator wanted to show support for the women and girls of Iran.
My people and the women in my country have been going through a lot since the regime has changed from the 70s. So if I can just support one person and help as one person, I think it'll make a world of difference.
You know, since
Last weekend, roughly 50,000 people marched down Yonge Street in Richmond Hill for a similar protest. A similar event also took place at Mount Lassman Square in North York today, organized by the Council of Iranian Canadians.
City News time, 9:39. 50 advanced polling stations are open throughout the long weekend across Toronto. Head to toronto.citynews.ca for the details. In 30 seconds, we'll have your gas price update.
City News time, 9:39.
Get ready to run for the money at Gateway Casinos with over $500,000 in cash and prizes to be won across Ontario now until end.
Give more time to the sports. There's 3 teams. Did you know there's 3 teams played today?
You're starting to have like those kinds of questions come up, and what are the questions?
I think my younger one, so she'll be 9 in weeks. I think she's more advanced than my oldest, who's 11. And I'm like, oh my God.
What do they ask? I gotta know from both of you.
It's not so much what they ask, it's more like they're just aware. The twerking. I'm like, stop it.
I mean, the questions that I get asked are things like, what's a tampon? Like that happened this morning. Okay. He knew what a tampon was, and he goes, what is this? So, you know, having a conversation around menstruation, trying to keep it kind of succinct before their eyes glaze over and they just walk away. There's also like, how did, you know, the basic, like, how does sperm and egg meet? Like, they don't put it that way, but it's like, you know. I got this great book, which I highly recommend for any parent of probably the 9 to 11-year-olds. It's called Sex is a Funny Word, and it's written by Corey Silverberg. And the book is this graphic novel, very, very animated, and it's got these wonderful stories, and it deals with all of the aspects of sexuality. It's about gender identity, it's about body image, it's about flirting, it's about crushes. And my son and I got to the very end of this book, and we closed the book, and basically all along there's questions you can ask that prompt discussion.
These are the kids who were born like right after the economic crisis of the century.
And it deals with everything, but it was a great thing because it was just like, actually sex is so much more than the way that we were taught, which is just like penis and vagina, that's, you know, that is sex. Well, it's not, it's so much more than that, which I just love.
Well, there's the question, what is sex? Ask a million people, get a million different answers. So it's funny, I had a Mormon friend, and they used to talk a lot about Levi Lovin, because of course they couldn't have intercourse until they were married. So Mormons got married at 18, 17, whatever, they could get married, so just so they could have sex and get out of the effing house. And for anyone Mormon listening who I've got this completely wrong, I was raised Mormon too, so I went to church when I was very, very young, so I'm not speaking from nowhere. My entire lineage on my dad's side are Mormons that came across an ocean, settled in Salt Lake, came up in covered wagons from Salt Lake and settled in Cardston, Alberta, where one of the first Mormon temples
I don't believe that.
So
I just don't somehow.
I just want people to know that. But anyway, yeah, Levi Lovin. You know, they'd have orgasms, but you know, Levi Lovin was a much easier thing to say than masturbate, or God forbid you should use an actual word.
What?
But yeah, it is so different. You turned me on to a book like a couple of years ago, I think maybe just
I need to
the
remember
first year of the pandemic. And it was about, there was a line in there that stuck with me.
I know exactly.
Hey,
well, the book is called, I think, Why We Need to Talk More About Sex, and it's by Alain de Botton.
Yeah,
It's funny as it started off being.
You need to find someone like who can do the things with you, those unspeakable things. You remember the
Hold on, that's a very broad thing to say too.
Into me like there is someone out there for each of us
that you can
This is serial
engage
killer
in those, in the
territory.
things that you, those unspeakable things that seem so weird, but there's people that will share that thing with you. Yeah, I mean, the book is so wonderful because it's, I'm not doing it any justice. You make it sound a bit creepy, to be honest. I'm sorry. It was the way you said it was so beautiful. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful book, and I think it's very lighthearted. And I think what he's saying is we need to.
No, she's giving her opinion and her paraphrasing some other guy's
funny and awkward. Like, it is all of the things. And I think one of the great things about the internet is that it's allowed for people who maybe have very obscure and specific desires or interests. Oh, they can now find each other. Like,
that's one of the biggest problems in the world right now.
The sound of a popping balloon, and I kid you not, that is a thing for some people.
What?
Back in the day, you just have to pop your own balloon and like hope for the best. And now you can find a whole community of balloon poppers out there. And I mean, what a wonderful thing is that? It's funny, you know, the kids that change it. I want to change the station, but I can't. Recently, there's something like 47 sexual identities out there. You know, everything is demisexual and gray sexual. And when I first started hearing this, I was just like, Jesus, what the hell? And then I started thinking, what would that mean? What a wonderful thing that people are sitting back and considering very specifically who they are and what their sexuality is like, and then communicating that with another person, saying like, you know what I'm really into right now is this. This is how I see myself sexually, and someone else can then communicate that. Because back in our day, it was just like presumed for the most part. No, I guess it ought to be straight. And if you were, you know,
was there a survey done at your school?
It's 11 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good evening. I'm Camilla Baines here with your top stories this hour. The Toronto Blue Jays lost 10-9 to the Mariners in the second game of their wild card series. Tough news for Jays fans, they are officially out of the run for playoffs. And Hockey Canada has confirmed Andrea Skinner, the interim chair of the board of directors, has resigned. And in Hamilton tonight, police confirmed 2 children are dead after an 18-year accident. They were taken to McMaster Children's Hospital with no vitals. Stay with City News 680 for the latest updates on this story. City News time, 9:45.
So now they can tell you all the different sports things.
Or online at newstalk1010.com. Some agents say there's an ugly reality in the rental market.
Once they get that photo ID on the other side.
Hear what's happening in your city.
Already did you wear masks? Well, it's nice to get back to normal.
Anywhere you are through the iHeartRadio app.
Moving in the right direction?
This is News Talk 1010, Toronto.
I think some stations somehow bought into that.
Test your brain cells on Sunday morning trivia from 9 a.m. to noon on News Talk 1010.
I've never heard of anybody using that app. Well, this was get out of here. I'm coming to get you.
Problems, no way to solve. Going in the chamber and spin the revolver. Problems, no way to solve. Going in the chamber and spin the revolver. Problems, no way to solve. Going in the chamber and spin the revolver. Problems, no way to solve. Going in the chamber and spin the revolver. More weight, more hate, more money, more snakes. They say God come by, I think he run late. Don't really matter most of it's all fake. I'm stepping in the mirror, I don't recognize the face. Been addicted ever since I got taste. They want me in the worst way. Coach says before my first birthday. Sometimes I'm in the vibe when we even birth me. Everyone here when I hurt me. From the sky rays, needles and crack pipes. Not the dream soul to a lost soul. Lo and behold, the child hold his own. With his hand on the phone, taking whatever you want. All I need is a product and a cell phone. Don't worry about me, man, I get my cell phone. Problems, no way to solve. Going in the chamber and spin the revolver. Problems, no way to solve. Going in the chamber and spin the revolver. Problems, no way to solve. Going in the chamber and spin the revolver. Problems, no way to solve. Going in the chamber and spin the revolver. Yeah, you wonder what the value is. Such money in my pocket and it's going medallion. My children only other thing that really matter. If I die today, I wonder what they will remember. Daddy going around and makes it hard around December. Cause in the clubs, always must have loved when I was younger. This whole time I've been just trying to survive in the city where the gangs and the drugs drive. Feel like I'm being buried alive. Pick up the window, watch the cops walk by. Stop looking and accept that I lost my mind. Lord, send me a sign, cause I feel like I'm living in hell. The corpse in the alley beginning to smell. I'ma change the shackles on my way to sell. Take my freedom from me, and they ask me how I feel. Problems, no way to solve. One entertainment, I spin the revolver. Problems, no way to solve. One entertainment, I spin the revolver. Problems, no way to solve. One entertainment, I spin the revolver. Problems, no way to solve. One entertainment, I spin the revolver. Something I don't really care about. You see, when I'm done, yeah, gotta go home. And sometimes home ain't the place you wanna go. When a crowded room, but I feel alone. He watched his mother be and die in his arms. And then they wonder why he acts so and causes others harm. He was even betting against me back then. I was never supposed to be shit. Listen to be locked up for dead. Tell me how am I alive if you was aiming for my head? Get the fuck out of here. Y'all ain't kill the shit. I was born for a greatest purpose. And because of that, I know I make you nervous. Careful, there's a demon lurking underneath the surface. I do this in the memory of my dog dead and deceased. Every scar, every tattoo is something to me. Yeah. Alright, feel it bury me. All that talking on your breath, they scaring me. Keep on pushing me, it's like you're tearing me. Like I won't pop, 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 pop. Leaving that a free ride. Feel it bury me. All that talking on your breath, they scaring me. Keep on pushing me, it's like you're tearing me. Like I won't pop, 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 pop. Leaving that a free ride. Ain't no one pop this shit. 2014. Tell you that right now. 2014. Fucking yeah, shit. Can't fuck with this. I ain't getting bail, so I run till they catch me. I ain't scared of y'all, so you won't have to dead me before I ever stop. I'm a giant in the fast lane. Get your toes the fuck out the way, cause this year I'm stomping on everything. Put the coke in now, way less till I'm up on triple back. Fuckin' with your stick of playboy. Got killers across the country just waiting for the order. Got the product from across the border. The guns on their way, mine stand by. Send my condolences, yeah. Heard your man die. Got that good if you trying to get high. Just follow my lead and you will be fine. Yeah, I came from a place where it's easy to lose faith. Had to learn the hard way, the only way, all day long. Had to earn these scores just to write this song. I work for the great nigga, was the music stop. I'm coming with up on the star. Maybe one of my enemies gonna break the day. To get a buck from my nose, survival at all costs. Whatever it takes, a zero limit mind state. No room for error, no room for mistakes. Alright, feel it bury me. All that talking on your breath, they scaring me. Keep on pushing me, it's like you're tearing me. Like I won't pop, 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 pop. Leaving that a free ride. Feel it bury me. All that talking on your breath, they scaring me. Keep on pushing me, it's like you're tearing me. Like I won't pop, 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 pop. Leaving that a free.
rolling around in your mouth and jamming it down your throat, you know, if you have this inexperienced, excuse me.
I mean, kissing, we can talk about it
It's so strange.
I think it stems a lot from like a kind of primal sort of connection with our moms, and you know, there's like a really interesting history to do with that.
That's what it is.
I don't know, like I think kissing is one of the most delicious things that's done well.
Black Widow.
I think it's one of my favorite things in the world. What's remarkable to me is still how many people I think don't have a clue how to kiss.
No, none whatsoever. I always feel like if you're on a first date and the kiss goes very wrong, in my opinion, I never went there again. I was just like,
I feel bad.
I don't think I could sort this out. But then I'm like, maybe I'm not right for you.
Maybe I'm not right. Hold on. I just needed 60 seconds of that. That's all I needed. I needed that. I needed to hear some of that. Some of these are harsh. Evil.
I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high. You can tell when my bloodshot dies. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. Come chill with me in the tough town, sipping with a cheese round. Northside, eastbound, down the CTL West. When we ride, dipping in the D-Bell line. In the city, slick as fingers, keep a piece out. The trigger squeeze these thrills, release shells, so he shout. Over on the sand like a seashell. And if you speak well, hope you like your meat well. Need help to buckle, make you buckle like a seatbelt. Keep my metal hot, so you pop until the heat melt. Crack rock, hustle, crack locks, so the keys melt. Living what can be hell, brothers in the street bell. She says it as every day for the shit that we sell. I read up by any news on the T-L. Don't ever see tell shit, never hear email. I need breeze, smell breeze, so much me well. She has stimulate the stress from the streets. I'm high, so high. Tell when my bloodshot dies. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high. You can tell when my bloodshot dies. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high, so high. I'm drunk, so drunk, so drunk. Drunk, ready to die, selling drugs where the cops will buy me in the shack and the crackheads high. Take a good look at the bad guy. I didn't mean to interrupt the party, but the truck came out. First I let this bitch wanna fuck me. First I'ma knock him out, then I'ma knock one out. Then after that I'm out laying checks on the rampage. I'm going out, won't be back for days. Living out some day, now my head hurt. Pop a couple perks, try to slip it off. Usually don't work. Shadow people stalking me. What could they want? What does it mean? I might be tripping, but then again you might get shacked up while you listen. Y'all should listen. Yeah, pay attention. Real talk. I'm high, so high. You can tell when my bloodshot dies. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high. You can tell when my bloodshot dies. I'm drunk, so drunk. You can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high, so high. I'm drunk, so drunk, so drunk. I was some motherfucking party and I'm walking the door, man. I'm bottles full of liquor all over your house, man. Let me tell you something quick if you don't know by now that I'm a motherfucking loud boy, drunk and loud. I give a fuck about the cops, man. That bitch go sound. Just tell your baby daddy chill before we get knocked out. I'm doing rails and drinking liquor, trying to deal with my pain. Don't need a motherfucking ain't trying to get in my way. You never party, motherfucker, I'll be gone for days. Bring the bitches at the bar in the bathroom stall. I'm doing rips off the bitches, then I hear that call. So I'ma hit the venue up and head straight to the party. Get drunk, then the motherfucker backing out. Till the world starts spinning around and around. Till the break of dawn, till the sun comes out. Better come and grab your girl, should have passed around. High, so high, you can tell when my bloodshot eyes. I'm drunk, so drunk, you can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high, you can tell when my bloodshot eyes. I'm drunk, so drunk, you can tell 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm high, so high, so high. I'm drunk, so drunk, so drunk, so drunk. This is that real shit. Keep open your goals and you can get her real quick. Get murked real quick. Once you in the door, that's it. I haven't had himself for the winter time. I got the cut to steal from the pool like it's dinner time. I probably burn 2 for the sins of mine. It's getting late. Some of the realest shit you'll ever find. I am what these streets made me. Still screaming fuck the other side. It's peaking every day, all day. And I'ma be this way every day, always. You reminded me about me. If you ask me, my drug of choice would be green. If I could, I'd spend all day laying out in the money tree. Yeah, I reap the benefits of the cocaine. Only way for a real thug to survive in this cold.
Nommée présidente par intérim en août après le départ de son prédécesseur. Mardi dernier, elle avait défendu le travail de son équipe durant son passage devant un comité parlementaire aux communes. Selon notre analyste sportif Martin Leclerc, son départ était devenu inévitable.
Tous les commanditaires majeurs de Hockey Canada ont soit amoindri leur lien ou coupé leur lien avec la fédération. Des fédérations provinciales se sont distancées, ont retiré leur confiance.
North Korea triggered World War III yet, or are we still counting on Russia?
Se retrouver dans une position extrêmement difficile. Alors c'était, je pense, la très bonne décision de sa part de quitter tout de suite.
Hockey Canada doit procéder à l'élection de son nouveau conseil d'administration en décembre. La police d'Ottawa peine de plus en plus à recruter de nouveaux agents. L'objectif pour cette année était d'embaucher au moins 80 nouveaux policiers, mais ce chiffre sera difficile à atteindre. La police d'Ottawa a fait face ces dernières années à des critiques qui ont mis à son image. En 2016, un réfugié d'origine somalienne a perdu la vie suite à une altercation avec des agents. La police d'Ottawa a également été critiquée pour sa gestion du convoi des camionneurs en février dernier. Selon l'ancien chef de police d'Ottawa, Charles Bordelot, le service a changé son approche de recrutement pour attirer des recrues.
Avant, l'approche était d'attirer des gens. C'est une carrière de 30 ans, un bon plan de pension, beaucoup de bénéfices. De ces jours ici, s'ils peuvent les garder pour 5 ans, et puis s'ils sont bien traités, ils vont rester.
Ottawa compte près de 1400 policiers pour une ville de plus d'1 million d'habitants. Et le Nouveau-Brunswick s'inquiète de la présence possible des moules zébrés, une espèce exotique envahissante que l'on a identifiée dans le lac Témiscouata à la frontière du Québec. Si elles ne sont pas contrôlées, les moules zébrés pourraient se retrouver dans les cours d'eau au Nouveau-Brunswick.
Les moules
zébrés sont arrivés au lac Témiscouata. Selon la directrice de l'organisme de bassin versant du fleuve Saint-Jean,
So these zebra mussels suck everything out of the water. So they tell us that everything we put in the water makes algae bloom, and this is bad. Then the zebra mussels suck it out. Then the Asian carp eat the zebra mussels. Imagine that. And then people catch the Asian carp and eat them.
Michel Cyr, un résident de la Baker, est plutôt inquiet.
This is not 2022 news. This is 1992.
Dans le fond, c'est qu'on est concerné par notre investissement. Dans le fond, on a toutes des maisons, des chalets. On veut garder notre lac en santé. Puis la mouche zébrée, c'est un peu inquiétant parce que ça peut coller aux embarcations, aux quais.
D'après Anna-Laure Duchesne, les moules zébrées amènent des répercussions néfastes sur l'environnement et l'économie.
Ça fait que ça laisse moins aussi de nourriture dans le lac pour les autres
espèces. Is it mostly you're fucking fishing offshore? Jesus Christ.
Donc les quais, les infrastructures.
Le Conseil des espèces.
We're introducing a very special guest. We've got multidisciplinary performer and body positive advocate Ivory Conover today.
Kevin Gausman did his share with 5 solid innings.
Ils ont bloqué un site pétrolier de la multinationale Total Energy. C'est un événement rare au pays plat et au Canada
Hey, there you go. Couple oil spills. Get rid of all them zebra mussels.
Les manifestants sont
You just gotta spill the oil in the right places strategically. Just specialize in that shit. Stop giving it away.
Sur une structure destinée à bloquer l'entrée du site.
The oil industry solved its own problems. Make more money, wouldn't it?
Le géant français du pétrole et du gaz est l'un des principaux pollueurs mondiaux, aussi puissant que contesté par des activistes dans plusieurs pays. Ce grand groupe énergétique a des pratiques qu'on trouve inacceptables sur les droits de l'homme, sur la protection de l'environnement. Ce sont des militants déterminés. On fait des actions qui sont pas autorisées, on prend le risque de se faire arrêter. C'est à ce point urgent d'agir contre Total. Comme dans d'autres grandes villes du monde, les Bruxellois défient régulièrement en appelant les dirigeants à faire davantage pour le climat, scandant plus chaud que le climat. À la veille de la conférence mondiale sur les changements climatiques, COP27 en Égypte, la coalition climat appelle à la mobilisation le 23 octobre prochain à Bruxelles. Titre de la manifestation, une marche pour votre avenir. Ici Léo Kalinda, Radio-Canada, Montréal.
Terminant en Ukraine, la circulation a repris de façon limitée sur le pont qui relie la Crimée à la Russie après une explosion qui a endommagé la structure. Personne n'a encore revendiqué la responsabilité de l'attaque qui a fait 3 morts. Après l'explosion, le président russe Vladimir Poutine a ordonné un renforcement de la sécurité autour du pont ainsi que des infrastructures d'approvisionnement en gaz naturel et en électricité de la Crimée. Voilà, c'était l'essentiel de vos informations. Merci d'être à l'écoute.
Les idées folles. Avec Rose et Léo, Tom Témorin.
In blue, Wayne Cowley, a former Edmonton Oilers player and the owner of Bottom Line, tells me he's feeling incredibly hopeful as well.
So you know what he's after in his business plan here.
We wanted, but there are still exciting times, and the fans and the customers are kept at the edge.
You've been drinking and smoking your whole life,
City News.
City News time, 10:06. Breaking news from Hamilton police. They say 2 children have died following an ATV accident in Hamilton. Officers responded to the scene around 4 p.m. in the area of Miles Road and Airport Road in York. Both children, a boy and a girl, were under 10 years old. They were rushed to McMaster Children's Hospital with no vitals. The investigation into their death is now underway. Stay with City News 680 for the latest on this developing story. City News time 10:07. Advance voting is now open for Toronto's upcoming municipal election, which is just
It's not even a matter of just lack of accountability from the top down, but what we've got here is something that has historically been protected by the institution. And you can't rebuild an institution that has issues if you keep the same pillars in place
Which institution are we talking about?
Right? That's the problem. You're not going to root
is this something that matters? Or is it hockey candidates? That's not the same thing.
Keeping the exact same decision makers who paid out this hush money.
I think that is the issue here. They're fighting for their jobs. They're like, you know, we should keep our jobs.
Sure, there's awesome jobs out there. Not this one. Sorry.
It's almost as if they're saying, like, we want to keep our jobs more than doing what is right. Yes. That's what's scary about these.
That's Canada.
Today we've got breezy and cool conditions.
Cool, you bastard.
But this is my perception of the situation. She was
qui est chroniqueuse en vie atlantique. Puis là-dedans, elle retrace les origines de l'expression toxique que tu as évidemment déjà entendue.
Ben, dans un tour de Britney Spears, là, surtout.
Entre autres, mais on dit dans plusieurs contextes de nos jours, ce gars-là est toxique, cette relation-là est toxique, cette télé-réalité-là est toxique.
People are bastards. There's something on my heart, there's something you can feel, something more, something more.
Because you funny fucks track me up. You black the thug, I bet you never blast the slugs. You got some butt and shit to go against the drugs. You think you're bad cause you run with baggy pants and love. This ain't no short bitch, swear I never laugh so much. Take a listen to the tracks and the raps you bust. Fake ass, ain't gangsta, act stuff. The closest thing you come to blasting is passing by. And that's what's up, you shanked up, jack them up. Up on the track, break your mask strap, mask with gloves. You get your cat blood, body.
What's closing in on me? See the future ain't ours.
To my number call, trust me dog. You ain't prepared to do what I'm prepared to do. Working hard, the artillery I got, cut you in half like a chainsaw. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat, head down. Stop, listen, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Murder in the first degree, homicide in my crib harassment. She just yelling even when on, now she can't speak. It's a cold world that we live in, take it from me. Yeah, in the end, everything I see has seems but a dream within a dream. Long days, cold nights, so refuse. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This that new shit that came like revolution. You don't wanna fuck with this, I got homie on standby, ready to let it rip. I suggest you close your lips, stop bumping your guns before you hurt someone you love. No remorse on my gun, no regrets for these clips. Cross me and I'm second bounce shit. Got an M16, copied up the black market shit. Big guns, big clips, you don't want any more of this. I'm on that leave you retarded shit. We ain't shit, I kinda fuck who started it. Try me, see how far you get. 4 goons in a stolen whip. Roll through, fuck your whole day up. Fucking clown, should've paid up. Not a great nigga putting in work. Covering your coffin in dirt. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, he got what he deserved. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. motherfucker. It's the life that we live, it's the life that we live, it's the life that we live, motherfucker. It's the life that we live, it's the life that we live, it's the life that we live, motherfucker. It's the life that we live, it's the life that we live, it's the life that we live, motherfucker.
13 degrees will be the high for Thanksgiving. Tonight's overnight low is 5 degrees.
Right now in downtown Toronto, probably cloudy 11, it feels like 8. Over at Toronto Pearson Airport, it's 9, feeling like 7. Today's time, 13.
During no peace, overseas violence in the
Serving a 23-year sentence for rape and sexual assault in New York. The 70-year-old former movie mogul faces different allegations in LA, including several that prosecutors say occurred during a
all you people put money in his pocket. Well, I'm evil for supporting pirated DVDs. Oh, fuck you. Who's the bad guy now?
Who will appear in court as Jane Does to tell their stories. He has pleaded not guilty.
Are you giving them different middle initials at least, like Jane A. Doe and Jane B. Doe? Is there like this is gonna get fucking confusing?
You're suffering from depression, your disability claim is denied, and now your employer fires you. Sound familiar? My name is Aaron Waxman.
Down human heartbreak. Fascinating. And that's actually, there's science behind it. Look into it, guys. Yes, yeah, very, very cool. And why not? Why not have a wealth of different tools that we can use, including forces?
I love it. Well, listen, no opposition over here. I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay, after the break, should magazines become genderless? Something to think about. We're going to discuss that coming up in 3 minutes.
You're listening to this.
Psychologique. Et j'ai l'impression qu'avec ça, on a aussi oublié la dimension sociale, la dimension collective nos modèles de conduite, parce que on a tendance à parler des traits de personnalité dans la vulgata, disons, dans la vulgarisation scientifique, mais en fait, c'est un modèle qui est très réducteur. On préfère généralement en psychologie parler plus de modèles de conduite aussi parce que les traits de personnalité sembleraient être quelque chose de fixe, tandis que la même personne dans des contextes différents peut se comporter de façon complètement différente. C'est pour ça que je porte l'attention aussi sur quelles sont les valeurs dans un certain contexte.
Il y a un pas qu'on ne doit pas franchir et que Jean-Philippe Barry-Hérard franchit pourtant. Mais selon vous, ce qui est encore...
I don't know what that was, but it wasn't funny. Fuck you.
Road in Binbrook around 4 p.m. this afternoon. An investigation into the deaths is now underway. And the Toronto Blue Jays have been eliminated from the playoffs after 2 games after the Seattle Mariners fired back from an 8-1 deficit. We'll have more on that right now. It's time for sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
You switch it back from important to laughable.
Latest tech trends in plain English and how it can enhance and enrich your life. Tech Talk, hosted by Mark Saltzman, Sundays at 5 p.m. on News Talk 1010. Brought to you by the all-electric Chevrolet 2022 Bolt EUV. Electric, now for everyone.
Thinking about starting insulin? You might be. TRIPPZ is the #1 prescribed long-acting insulin by endocrinologists in Canada. Its flexible dosing means you can take once daily TRIPPZ at whatever time works best for you, with at least 8 hours between doses, even right after you test your morning blood sugar. Talk to your doctor today to see if TRIPPZ is right for you, and visit nowready.ca.
I don't have fucking diabetes, so I somehow don't think it's going to be right for me. Why are they advertising that shit?
In Ontario and show your appreciation for local farmers and food businesses. Good things grow in Ontario. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
We all have them. Friends who always seem to be listing their homes and on the move.
Right, yeah, all my friends are always selling their houses.
Do you feel like your debt is out of control? You make payments month after month, yet your debt grows larger and larger. I'm Mike.
That was some unfunny French jokes.
Laisse sa responsabilité morale par rapport à ça, mais adopte des comportements qui par ailleurs ont été prônés, promus et aussi de quelque façon prisés pendant des siècles ou pendant des décennies dans un certain milieu culturel, dans un certain contexte social. Un boss qui est violent et prévaricateur, ben, il fait que répliquer le modèle de prestige autorité qu'on a prôné pendant des siècles. Donc c'est pour ça que j'insiste sur le fait que c'est des constructions sociales aussi qu'il faut changer, des constructions de ce qu'on entend par prestige, autorité.
Mais à partir du moment où on est dénoncé, ou même en tant que bonne personne, quelqu'un arrive et dit « Rosémie, tu as été toxique », comment dois-je réagir? Comment on peut se montrer responsable de nos comportements toxiques? Varda Étienne, je vous lance la balle.
Mais honnêtement, je vais vous décevoir, je n'ai pas la réponse parce que je vais vous dire, parce qu'encore une fois...
Oh my God, you people are dry.
That work can take weeks or even months and must be done before a new layer of asphalt can go on. You can find more of our conversation at toronto.citynews.ca. Put it on your drive. I'm Kyle Hawking.
City News Time, 10:19.
Wherever it was,
Korea says North Korea has fired a ballistic missile towards its eastern waters. It's one of the latest in several weapon tests this week. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff says the launch was made early today, but didn't give much details. The Japanese government also says North Korea has fired a possible ballistic missile. The launch, the North's 6th round of weapon tests in 2 weeks, came hours after the United States and South Korea wrapped a new round of naval drills off the Korean peninsula east coast. North Korea's military warned that the U.S. redeployment of the aircraft carrier near the Korean peninsula is causing a negative splash in regional security. Coming up next, we'll have traffic and weather together on the ones. City News Time, 10:20.
And that's all you get. Wow. And that's all you get. Oh, hey, do you want to refinance your house?
Don't be scared.
Jesus Christ, don't be scared. What the fuck?
Would understand complicated market. Like,
oh, wow. Don't be scared. We'll help you understand this complicated shit. We'll tell you what it's worth. We'll tell you what you get. We'll give you for it.
Away from that kind of high fashion machine that has ruled so many of us for so long.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, but you know, I hear what you're saying, but already as it stands, there's not enough space in the fashion industry for people of all ages and backgrounds. Wow. So now, if you're opening up that space but to men, then how much space is going to be left for people who weren't represented in the first place? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know that we're just opening it up to men by saying it's non-gendered. I'd like, I mean, maybe I need to read the Vogue manifesto. I'd like to think that if we're making more room for it to be a more non-binary magazine rather than just targeted at females, then we're giving room for all people.
And I don't think that is the...
I don't know what the point of that is.
Collision may have cleared here south of the 401. Still no response from Toronto Transportation. So it could still be there if you're traveling through that section of the highway. Start to get a different phone call. You can let me know what you see. I don't see much of a delay anymore, so that's what makes me think that it may have been cleared. If you're traveling on the northbound DVP, no issues there. It's lightly travel moving up to speed. Same with the eastbound and westbound Gardner, and then it's more of the same on the QEW. It's moving up to speed there as well. On the eastbound 401, a very minor delay, Dixon to
to
is going to
speed.
just not quite moving up to speed, but it's very, very minor.
When is
On
it
the
not
westbound
moving up to
401
speed?
Mavis Express and Collectors to Mississauga Road, it looks like those delays have eased off. Located next to the CN Tower, Concord Canada House is iconic and timeless. The first 30 purchasers will receive a complimentary Rolex watch. Visit concordcanadahouse.ca. Your next report in less than 10 minutes. Now with the weather, here's Carl Lamb.
They also give away medallions, $30,000 medallions.
Die down as we head into the overnight. We're
some of these condos.
5 degrees, and then for tomorrow,
That's real.
the wind is back. A westerly wind around 20 to 30 kilometers per hour, sun and cloud, and a few showers drifting from north to south throughout the day. 15 is the high, 6 is the low, and then for Thanksgiving itself, sun and cloud and 13 degrees after a few morning rain showers. But ultimately, it's not a washout for sure because it's going to dry out by the late morning. And
what
then
is
on
Thanksgiving
Tuesday,
itself? Hold on, I thought we only know that the holidays on Monday. We don't know what the fuck you're talking
about. Tonight's overnight low is 5.
In downtown Toronto this evening, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. 10 feels like 7, and over at Toronto Pearson Airport, it's a bit chillier. 9 feeling like 7. Coming up at 10:30, we'll have 2 breaking news stories. The first one from Hockey Canada. Andrea Skinner, the interim chair of Hockey Canada, has resigned from her role.
How come this North Korea thing?
News coming out of Hamilton this evening as police confirm 2 children have died after an ATV accident. City News Time 10:23.
Is your bathroom over 10 years old? I'm Mike Holmes here with Ivan from
older than me.
Thanks, Mike.